Hello, everyone. I'm Jack Fisher. Welcome to my world, and welcome to my live stream. It is it's a rainy Saturday afternoon, and I've been wanting to do this since the finale for X-Men '97. I want to dedicate a whole stream to it, and I wanted to. I did my quick reaction to it back when shortly after on the morning when the series debuted. I have said plenty there, but now I want to talk a bit about it with some of my good friends. So let me bring in my good friends, Agent G and Thunder. They're going to help guide the discussion. So give me a sec. They're on Discord right now. Here we go. Yo. How you doing?
Hello.
I got you this. Hey, Thunder, I hear you.
Yeah. Can the stream here? That's the question.
Yes. I'm actually looking at the audio mixer now. I can confirm it can hear you. Yeah, there was a reason why. Yeah, I'm sorry about that again, guys. If you guys saw the last stream, yeah, there were some technical issues because I made a mistake because I picked the wrong setting on our audio mixer and I didn't pick it up till later on. But it's working this time. I can assure you of that. So. And as usual, guys, I made sure I.
Did you hear his avatar on the thing has disappeared?
Yeah, I thought it was just me. I couldn't see it.
Can you? Yeah.
I can't see it.
I could.
Like you guys can hear me.
I can hear you. Yes, I can't see your. Gee, I can't see your avatar.
Yeah, I see the green box glowing, but oh well.
Yeah, well, I can hear you, but yeah, on Discord, yeah, Thunder, I can still see your little Thunder trademark thing that is so iconic. So yeah, but
a friend actually gave that to me. He went on holiday and there was this energy drink, and really? I found it online and just was like, yeah, I'll just copy that.
Well, I think it suits you. It suits you very well. So, all right.
Oh, if it is a logo of an actual thing, you could get in trouble later on.
Well, let's worry about that later. None of us. By the way, before I say it, none of us are lawyers. So yes, let's make that disclaimer. Here in America, you make anything legally related, you get in a lot of trouble. Okay, but other than I just want to make first thing clear. You guys have both seen the finale for X-Men '97, correct?
What, there was homework for this?
Yeah, actually,
yeah, I saw it.
Did you? There's actually a lot of quote unquote homework for it. Apparently, there was a little Easter egg for Star Trek fans. Did you hear about that?
What? Where?
No.
Well, I think someone from Star Trek voiced Rachel at the end. Did you recognize that voice?
Not really. Let me see here.
Yeah, look it up. Yeah, they got someone from Star Trek to voice Rachel Summers as Mother Ascani.
Yeah, I thought that was actual Rachel, like old. I remember
that was Rachel. Yeah,
old in the comics at one point, but
yeah, the voice actress is someone from Star Trek.
Let's see here,
because apparently the former showrunner is a big Star Trek fan too. But yeah.
Probably like near the end by guest.
Yeah. But it was a nice little Easter egg. But other than that, this was definitely this was a fun series to follow. And I actually woke up. I started waking up at like 3 a.m. That's when I live on the East Coast of the United States. So 3 a.m. is when the new episodes dropped. And me waking up that early is not normal. But that goes to show you just how great this show was. So yeah, that's what it definitely got me. It got me restless on Tuesday nights. That's for sure. But yeah, I got to say, Marvel shows.
Gates McFadden.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who. Yeah,
Dr. Crusher from TNG. Gotcha.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I couldn't remember her name off the top, but yeah, I knew.
No idea why someone would name their daughter Gates or anything.
An awesome set of parents. You know that. Come on, I think that's.
She had to be teased so much growing up with like, hey, are you going to open it up, Gates?
I don't. Yeah. People make fun of anyone's name for any reason.
Yeah.
I remember middle school. The things that people made fun of for dumb reasons, it could fill 10 live streams. I promise you.
Oh
Yeah, because preteens and teens are stupid when it comes to reasons to make fun of
I
stuff.
think you
Well,
look up.
you probably. Well, I'm guilty there as well. We had a teacher called Miss Foster. So I turned around and said, "What, Dreadnought Foster?"
Ooh.
I was
Yeah.
thinking magical school
She was
bus.
our
But
Yes.
French teacher, so she wasn't really well liked, and that
Yeah.
kind of stuck with her. She had no idea, even today, where it
I
came
think
from.
is I'm looking through like the cast for X-Men '97, and the weird thing is, Ansaba Nur and Apocalypse had 2 different voice actors.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that too. And
Which is weird because like they're literally the same person.
Yes.
Oh, I meant to check. Does Apocalypse have the same voice character as he did?
No, that's one other thing. The original
No, the guy
voice.
was way too young to be a voice actor for that.
The original voice actor
original.
for Apocalypse from the '90s show, he passed away. So the same thing happened with the original voice actor for Magneto. In fact, if you look at, the original voice actor
like
for Magneto.
Half the cast from the original X-Men show is like no longer with us at this point. Or
Not half, but quite a few names like Norm Spencer, who voiced
like,
Cyclops.
Quite a bunch of them.
Yeah,
It seems like half. Of them
yeah,
are
David
gone, but
David Hamlin, who voiced Magneto originally. So yeah, but I do think that what they've the voice cast they've assembled, they've knocked it out of the park for these, especially for these last few episodes.
I wonder if someone's gone to the original voice actor of Magneto's grave and actually brought on it. Magneto was right.
You know what? They after the past few episodes, I would not be surprised because that became that was a pretty active hashtag, especially after episode 8 when he turned off the Earth's magnetic field. That was that became quite a mantra, and it actually did kind of remind me how someone posted like long before this show even aired. There was this long discussion on Reddit about how the longer the X-Men comics have gone on, the harder it is to make Magneto a villain because he keeps getting vindicated in the real world, not just in the comics, but in the real world when you see, what he talks about, people hate what they don't understand, and we keep proving him right. We, the humans, keep proving him right, and it makes it very, very hard for him to be like a pure villain on the level of Sinister.
I think the problem is you get the sympathy for him, but then he takes it too far.
Yes, exactly.
That's the thing. You see his reasoning, but then he's like, okay, but you kind of went a couple of steps past the line there, dude.
Yeah. It is.
Instead of punishing the people who should be punished, you're punishing just everyone, including actually other mutants too. When you think about it.
Exactly, and but at the same time, you can understand why he goes to extremes because after what happened on Genosha, like in episode 5 this year, at the very least that's got to be traumatizing. This is a guy who survived the Holocaust, so he's already got to be pretty traumatized. So,
yeah.
But
it doesn't explain how he survived, did it? I don't remember.
Well, I think it's because Bastion made sure of it. I think Bastion wanted him to survive. Yeah. So.
Yeah. But...
In the comics?
No, in the show.
No, in the show.
In the show.
You were talking about. Okay, I thought we were in survival. I thought you were talking about when he was in the camps and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I think in the show, I think Bastion made sure Magneto survived. I think he wanted to essentially use him as a pawn.
Yeah, but it was kind of it was kind of weak writing there, just show him immediately getting blasted, and how the hell did he survive? I know, probably program the Sentinels to keep him alive, but that's how, the actual how, because that is very difficult to pull off that kind of a fake death.
It's to say, no body, no death. That's been, especially with Magneto, because he's died and come back to life more. Almost.
Can't really say that. You could fall into a pit of lava and then.
Yeah.
Is he dead? I don't see the body.
Oh, well, he always finds a way. He always finds a way. But beyond that,
but we do know from Cable that there is someone or something that is meddling with time at the moment in the series.
Yeah, and that's what something we can already get into because let me because actually I'm on the stream right now. I've got just the wall of missing characters, but I'm also going to show. Actually, no. Let me show this because when Forge, when Bishop finally catches up with Forge, I think what because we know when Bishop takes Baby Cable into the future, something definitely happens that got them separated, and something tells me that that's where Mother Ascani came in. Rachel Summers in the future. I think she was the one who.
So Shadow Cat is actually the actual Shadow Cat. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
I just noticed her bottom right.
Shadow Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought if they were gonna bring her in, they would bring her in as like the New Mutant kind of thing. But no, I think she's already been like.
All those profile images, like the ones you used to get in the side of the comic.
Yeah.
Look like that.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I'm glad that Shadowcat showed up, but I think, because I think that does set the stage for a lot of the mutants we're seeing on this panel who they were mentioned. I mean, I think Exodus was on Genosha, but he survived. I don't.
The thing was like, what the fuck's up with Wanda and Off-World?
Yeah, I think that might actually have to do. Remember when I think it was episode 6 when what was it? Xavier was with the Shi'ar, and they said there was some sort of conflict going on with the Kree. I suspect maybe that's why they're off-world. Like there might be because I think wasn't in the 90s. Wasn't that when they had that Operation Galactic Storm or something like that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, because
also I think she might have been like an Avenger, so maybe she's like doing avenging stuff in the space.
Yeah, that's my theory that they're off-world for a reason, and I think it might have to do with what happened with what was going on with the Kree and the Shi'ar. So that's my theory, but I do think that they're going to be a factor in season 2, and don't know how, but I think a lot of these characters on this board that are not listed as not AWOL or I think they're going to show up. I think my theory is that Emma Frost, who did survive Genosha, she's going to try to start putting together a team, and
Generation X.
Yeah, kind of like Gen X, yeah, because that was
Hellions. That was what she did in the comics before.
Yeah.
So
because I think it was in the 90s and the early 2000s she had the Hellions and Gen X. So I think that would be
the Hellions. Then they got killed off during the Genosian thing. So maybe it will be a
we can't do that.
Yeah, I think maybe Gen X might actually would make more sense because she does
new X-Men.
Oh yeah, okay, that could work too. And yeah, maybe she will try to. Here's something that might happen. Maybe what if she's rich. And apparently, it doesn't look like Sebastian Shaw survived, at least initially, the Genosha. What if she buys the Institute? What if she buys the Xavier Institute and renames it?
It needs to be renovated then.
Well, she has the money. Emma Frost has never had a problem getting money.
Like she has her own company. I don't know what it does, but I know she has a company.
Frost Enterprises.
Yeah, Frost Enterprises. Yeah, in the comics, she is never lacking for money, even when she's a wanted fugitive.
It actually says what the hell Frost Enterprises does.
We know she invested in steel. I know that.
Yeah, I think she also did. She invest in Stark Industries, like even before she married Tony Stark.
Frost Technologies was the Fortune 500 corporation. Winston Frost. Okay, that's her.
That's her dad.
Parents.
Her dad was worse.
Chairwoman of this multi-billion-dollar corporation. Okay, so she took it over.
Yeah.
Principally been involved in transportation, both the building of ships and aircraft, and used their freight and passenger conveyance, but has expanded into other fields, particularly electronics. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, she does have. She more than anyone would have the means to rebuild the Xavier Institute, or at least like buy it outright and reopen it, because hey, Xavier's missing again. Who else? And who else is going to do it? And I suspect, it might actually cause some. I think she would try to recruit. I think I could see in the first episode of season 2 her trying to recruit Roberto and Jubilee, who they didn't get sucked into the time stream. So
actually, that's another thing. Where the fuck are Morphin and Wolverine?
Yeah, I'll get to
and Storm. They've been talking about this online. What happened to them?
Well, actually,
what happened to Bastion as well? Because he was caught in that explosion.
I think he was atomized.
Who knows? Yeah. I'm glad you guys brought that up, because there was the former showrunner actually did answer some. He did some bunch of live tweets. He did confirm. He confirmed that Storm, Morph, and Wolverine were all sucked into the same time stream. Now he didn't say they're either in the distant future.
Oh yeah,
or they're in the past with
what
with
would be
Apocalypse. Yeah, because what I have right now, this in past here is where this is the rise of Apocalypse. I don't know if anyone has read that comic. You really should. It's one of my favorite from the '90s. But he did confirm that they are in one, either in the distant past or the distant future, and he didn't say which though, so it could be either.
You know what? I wonder if Morph, Wolverine, and Storm are all in the same thing. Morph's there. Exiles.
Exiles? Okay, that would be interesting.
Say.
Morph was in it from the start right until the end.
Well, it's a different morph, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, wasn't he called Changeling when they were in the Exiles?
No, I think it was morph.
Okay.
Because I used to read those comics, so yeah, at least the first 2 volumes.
Yeah.
Then things got really fucked up, and I kind of dropped it.
Yeah. Well, I know he went. I think he did go by Changeling for a while, but it was before that. So, but yeah, it is.
They had to change that because that's what Beast Boy was known as.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember there's some legal thing going on. This was it was the same reason they had to get rid of that Champions title for a long time. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, in terms of where those 3 are, I think the reason those 3 are missing is because I think we already know Gambit is going to be one of the new Horsemen of Apocalypse. I think Storm.
Which I did call.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you called that, man. Give yourself
and Apocalypse being at the very end of the
exactly
the final thing too.
And I think
I didn't call everything right, but I called those 2 things.
Yeah, kudos to you, my friend. And I do think that Morph, Storm, and Wolverine are going to become Horsemen of Apocalypse, and both Wolverine. I think it's almost guaranteed for Wolverine because I think in the comics he got his adamantium skeleton back thanks to Apocalypse. So that's how it was in the late '90s, I think, shortly after the Onslaught.
Yeah, it was. Although I do wish. I kind of wonder, I don't know how long the time travel shenanigan things is going to go along for. I feel like it's going to be at least more than one episode because.
Yeah, I think it'll be
small number of episodes mean you have to cram a lot of stuff and rush a bit.
Yeah, exactly. But
so I think maybe half the season is going to be time travel. They come back and then they got to deal with the rising of Apocalypse.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe they'll have Wolverine join Apocalypse in season 3. Maybe this is what they're going up for, a 3-season big ass build up to Apocalypse and a final showdown kind of thing.
Yeah, I definitely think
Evolution.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Good call. Because also in X-Men Evolution, Storm was a Horseman in that series as well. She was that was a really cool look for her too, and I think it's definitely going. And I think I could see if Gambit's going to be Death, Wolverine will be Storm. I think Morph will become Pestilence, and Storm will become Famine.
Wait, you just said Wolverine becomes Storm?
No, I said Wolverine becomes War, not Storm.
Okay.
You sounded like you said Storm as well.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry if I think that'll be the lineup in terms of who gets what title. Gambit's
Death.
Can
see Wolverine as War. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Now it's interesting because if the 3 of them got sent to the past, I think it could be the case there because this is before Apocalypse became Apocalypse, and if they follow the comics, he's probably fighting against Rama Tut, who's a version of Kang. So maybe the reason why we don't see the 3 of them is because Rama Tut found them before for anyone else.
I'm also wondering if if they're building up to Kang being the one that fucked up, or at least a version of Kang is the one that sent them through time.
Yeah, well, if they're going to follow if they're going to follow what happened in the source material, and they have been doing that quite well, Rama Tut is a version of Kang, and I think also there was a brief shot. I don't have an image of it of I think some ancient Egyptian city. It looked a lot like Kang's like that orb Kang had in Ant-Man Quantumania. So
what, the one at the end of
yes. So yeah, I think Kang is because he did show up as well in the original show. I don't know if you remember. I think it was season 4, Beyond Good and Evil, where we had Immortus, who is also another version of Kang. So Kang is a fairly familiar character to to this
Just
particular
had a
story.
lot of different like personas over his career.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what makes him such a complicated and messy.
I mean, one name he went by was like Nathaniel Richards,
Yes.
as a possible descendant of Reed Richards.
Yes, although they've always been a little wishy-washy with that. Sometimes they come close to confirming it, but then they do something to dissuade it. It's
they keep like screwing around with the timeline. Like there was like Iron Lad,
yes,
Kang, then there's a bunch of other stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, which is the real Kang? Well, it's kind of hard to say because like
Yeah.
all these different timeline variants of them keep
Yeah.
showing up. So it's like we don't know who is the prime Kang. I guess
exactly,
you could say.
if there is. But I think the only medium that has ever made Kang an easy character to follow is Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Hero. That was the only version of Kang that wasn't a mess. So
Yeah.
that's still the best version of Kang.
They
in my opinion.
streamlined that show with like that was way good with how they streamlined all the characters.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the best version of Kang, the best version of Doctor Doom, the best version of Zemo.
Best version of the Avengers period, actually.
Yeah, pretty much. I have no. Yeah, if they brought that show back, I guarantee you it would find a huge audience.
Which show?
Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That show.
The one with the kick-ass theme song.
Yeah, it had the best
I still
version.
say that is like one of the best like opening theme songs for a Marvel series ever.
Yeah, I don't. Do not disagree. And
I actually remember in the comics once the Spider Girl. What the fuck's her? I forget it. Like Arana.
Jessica?
Aranya, I
What?
don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but like
Oh god,
she actually got the ringtone of that show on her phone at the end of a comic. I actually remember reading.
That sounds so right. Yeah. It's kind of like you ever remember that show Gifted, where I think it was it was a live action X-Men show, and apparently Warpath had the X-Men animated theme song as a ringtone. Which funny, I've had that same ringtone since 2011.
Yeah.
I heard of the show. I never got around to watching it though.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have the cable channel that like showed it back in the day.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because instead of that, I saw shit like was it Mutant X and all that crap.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That show was interesting. Is the
Apparently the writers don't know what a fucking empath is. Apparently they think it's a telepath. For those of you wondering what I'm talking about, basically there's a character on that show that was there was an empath who all her powers were more telepathic in nature. I'm like, every time it would happen, like where she would mess with people's heads and like show like illusions and stuff, like that's not what an empath does. It's just emotional. It's not like you can't fuck with someone's head with an empath.
I know what that is only because
It's Counselor Deanna Troy from TNG. That's an empath.
Trust me, yeah,
clearly whoever did not.
whoever did Mutant X did not have a very good knowledge of mutants or
I want to say it did have a
superpowers
great
in general.
villain though. That guy was awesome.
Yeah, I'd have to that show was weird, but it had its moments. It definitely had it.
Oh shit!
Oh, Mac User, yeah, it says the bad guy in Mutant X was a ripoff of the Riddler in Batman Forever.
Oh god.
Interesting take.
What?
Yeah.
Not arcade then.
Interesting. All right. So yeah, one other thing. One other thing I wanted to.
No, I was just looking up the characters right now. And I just noticed the guy who's playing Cable was the original Gambit voice actor.
Yeah, Chris Britton.
Chris Potter.
Potter. Yeah.
Oh shit! I actually know this guy. Fuck, what is it? Where is he from? Oh, there it is. Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. I knew that face from somewhere. I used to watch that show all the time.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good repertoire.
It was a spin-off of the original Kung Fu series called Kung Fu: The Legend Continues.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a. What was that one? Did that air from around the 90s?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Good times.
Like the adventures like Kwai Chang Kane and his son.
This is annoying being here in the UK.
David Carradine, that's it. I was trying to remember the name, the main character or actor, David Carradine. That was his.
David Carradine,
role.
yeah, he was in Kill Bill, wasn't he? Yeah,
That's what he was doing. Like before that, he did like a bunch of these kung fu shows, which were basically I think it was Bruce Lee that originally tried to get the show greenlit and have him as the lead, but they went with Carradine instead because they didn't really want a Asian guy in the lead role in the show called Kung Fu.
Yeah, that goes to show you how far we've come in terms of casting decisions. So, yeah. Oh, another thing. Didn't Dennis Carradine also do a voice? Didn't he voice Clockwork in Danny Phantom?
Clockwork.
Really?
No, I don't. Am I thinking of something else? Yeah. I don't know why. I just
I don't think so, but
because I remember he sounded like
he was
him.
on Titus a couple of times, but
Yeah. Titus. Oh, I remember.
I did DM. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, IMDb. Yeah, that thing is that site is a godsend when it comes of.
Oh yeah, if you want to look something I want to look up who the hell was that one.
Yeah,
actor?
who's that guy in that thing? Who is the guy in that thing? Every time someone asks that, I just got to.
He was in Crank High Voltage. I remember that.
I love that movie. That movie is so utterly insane, but it's so much fun. Oh, that was yeah. Yeah, if you just
you said Danny Phantom.
Was he in Danny? Yeah, was he in Danny Phantom? I don't know why I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah,
he was.
Danny Phantom, the ultimate enemy video game. Danny Phantom, Clockwork. Yeah, it was him.
My God, I'm surprised that I was right about that. I'm usually not right, but okay. All right, well, that shows you how erratic my brain can be at times. But sometimes you get things right. Who knows? All right, so yeah. Actually, let me go. I brought up the that final. I guess we can call it a mid-credit scene in from the finale, and one of the things that I was kind of surprised with the finale is they didn't really give too many hints about Onslaught because the whole thing with Asteroid M, that after when Magneto ripped the adamantium out of Wolverine's body, that was sort of the catalyst towards setting up Onslaught, because that persona was.
Did he actually do it?
Yeah, he actually did it.
I thought he was stopped off.
Nope,
no,
he wasn't.
Like if you look at the last scene of the second last episode, you see the Ed Fury literally getting pulled out of his body.
Yeah, they literally
what happened to it all then?
Yeah, we don't know.
It's probably laying on the deck of the asteroid somewhere.
That's probably valuable, but I do think the fact that they didn't really hint at at Onslaught just yet, but I do think they're going to build towards that. Like the reason I have this image up with Apocalypse holding the card is because I think in order to defeat Apocalypse, that's going to require Onslaught, that'll solve one problem but create another, and it'll be interesting to see how they handle it, because Onslaught in the 90s was kind of maligned, but it's one of those stories that as time has gone on, some people remember it more fondly than it was perceived when it first came out. Like some comic stories, they're not really well liked at first, but they kind of grow on you over time. And I think Onslaught is one of those stories, and because they've been they've been capturing so many of the iconic 90s era.
I do have a question though.
Sure.
When Rogue was battling Bastion, they ended up on the moon.
Yeah.
And they were in a ruined sort of.
That was the blue sector of the moon, I believe.
Yeah. That place has a breathable atmosphere. Yeah.
Why? I have no idea.
It was the Skrulls set it up years ago, I think before you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, even then, I guess there's some sort of atmospheric generator still somehow running somewhere.
Yeah. Plus, that's also where the Watcher is, and we saw in episode 5 he is a presence in this world. So that's.
I think he was beyond.
Also, I think that was also where they had the final showdown in the Dark Phoenix saga. That's where they battled the Shi'ar. So
Shi'ar Imperial Power.
Yeah. So that was that's a familiar.
I thought it was a hologram back then.
Yeah. So.
Although there is some things about that final battle that I was like, okay, when Jubilee gets blown out of the asteroid, I'm like, well, she's dead, and then she's just not dead.
Sunspot
being
yeah, it's one of
those.
those.
I'm pretty sure she that far up, they're still not in the atmosphere.
Yeah, unless there's some kind of field.
Should have been just dead.
Maybe they.
Yeah, probably best not to think. Yeah, it's one of those Rick Sanchez. It's a Rick Sanchez moment. Just don't think about it, Morty. I used to be able to do that impersonation so much better, but then after I got COVID, I can't do it anymore for some reason. So, yeah, I know.
I don't want that again.
Yeah, I mean, no, but trust me, nobody does, and nobody deserves it. So,
2 times is enough.
yeah. So,
Actually, there was a couple things about that ending. I was like you keep bringing up Onslaught. I'm like, okay, if I thought they might do Onslaught, I'm not too sure anymore because I thought what they might have gone through with was like, he shuts Magneto's brain down, and he's in a coma or something, and then like what happens is like part of his personality is still in Xavier's head while he's in the coma, and that's what they'll lead into. But I don't think they're going to go that route.
what do you think they're going to do?
I'm not too sure. I don't know if they're actually going to do Onslaught or not.
Okay. Well,
No.
do you have any theories in general, Thunder? I've shared some of my theories. You guys take over. What theories do you have for season 2?
I
Well-
just think they might go into Age of Apocalypse, to be honest.
Maybe. Unless it's an alternate timeline
I
thing.
mean, wasn't Sinister one of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse?
No.
He-
No,
Never.
he was never a horseman. He was always just kind of a supporting character.
He was originally Apocalypse's little minion guy, but then he, after trying to kill him at least twice, that relationship soured.
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why he created Cable, because Cable was the only one with the power levels to actually defeat Apocalypse, and if Cable didn't have that techno-organic virus in him, he actually would be like way too OP.
Yeah, he's usually using like the majority of his power just to keeping that stuff at bay from
Yeah.
eating him up inside.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I remember that in the Cable series when
Yeah.
he was
Mhm.
with Hope.
yeah.
It saved his life when they slit his throat, but
Yeah.
they slit the organic part, the technical.
Techno-organic part. Yeah.
I can't speak now. The technology part of his neck, and he was able to survive it.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Exactly.
There
Yeah.
was one thing though. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen though. Those whole like scenes of like Xavier and Magneto in their mind together,
Yeah.
sharing their mind, and all that stuff. There's going to be so much slash fiction about
Oh,
that.
yes.
Now. Like, as soon as I'm reading
Trust
this, I'm
me,
like,
there already
God,
is.
They're making them look so gay for each other at this moment.
Oh,
That there are going to be so many slash fics about this now.
Trust me, man. There
Like,
already
there were
are.
before, but now there's like, okay, there are going to be way more like people.
Yeah,
hitting
you're-
right to the keyboards.
I promise you, man. Trust me, that stuff existed before. It's going to exist even more after this
Oh
show.
yeah, it exists before. Like now, it's like, oh, they're going to give it a kick in the ass to really go down.
Oh
I
yeah.
wonder if we'll go into the House of M here.
Yeah,
That
that-
would be interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up because I thought that was what was going to be that was going to be part of season 2, but now I think it's more likely because of the way because of just the post credit scene. I think it's much more likely that we're going to get like a version of Age of Apocalypse first. If there's going to be a House of M, I think it's going to be in season 3.
Yeah, because you got to bring Wanda back into the whole thing.
Yeah.
What if
They
Secret
pull that off.
Invasion comes in? I mean, they're all,
Yeah.
I don't think they're
they
doing
come
that.
back, and then they've already got the scrolls. taking
Secret
their
Invasion would be like a
That's an Avengers
like
story.
that would be a season 8 thing.
Yeah, that's like an Avengers story, and
Yeah.
I don't think that would make much sense in this show. But I think maybe they'll do something along the lines of they've done House of M. I think then maybe they'll do something kind of like the Messiah trilogy, like Messiah Complex, Messiah War, and Second Coming.
Well,
think-
what was it? Towards the end, they had the presidential elections, and they were saying grading Creed
Yeah,
is rising
oh.
into bold.
I remember that. Yeah, that was
As if Kelly wasn't bad enough. There you go with Grading Creed.
Graydon Creed is
Which
Actually-
I guess it means like
That's
Sabretooth didn't kill him when like last time we saw him was in the last season where
Yeah.
basically they drop him off right in front of his house.
Well, here you go.
Yeah, here's your son.
was-
Have fun.
and Sabretooth was like, oh well, if it ain't my boy, he didn't look all that. He just looked like he. Yeah, but
He got Sabretooth for a dad. No wonder you're gonna start hating mutants.
yeah, exactly. So that's going to
You have a
be
lot of damn issues. Like he's got like what? Mystique
They
as a
got
mom.
parent
Or,
issues.
yeah,
well, Mystique is an absent mom. Who,
yeah.
Again, ditched her kid and was probably raised by fucking
Who's your
Sabretooth.
mum? I
yeah.
don't know. One day she's this, next thing you know, she's someone else.
She's a shapeshifter. That's kind of her thing. Yeah, but I'm glad you brought up Graydon Creed because because it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because on one hand, people are going to blame Magneto for nearly letting the entire world be destroyed, but at the same time, they can't forget.
That was Kelly, no.
Yeah,
He
but
shot the missile.
yeah, there's the missile, but then they also they can't just forget what happened on Genosha. I mean, it's not like the first shot was fired against him, and also we saw Bastion. He showed up like he was like an Easter egg planted in a few scenes early on, like Operation Zero Tolerance. Like apparently the government was aware of that, and now they're got to wonder, oh, well, so we kind of had this Operation Zero Tolerance. We didn't exactly plan it, and it caused all this massive atrocity on Genosha. He pissed off Magneto, and it's really complicated in terms of, it's not, Magneto went overboard, but, it's not, no one side is 100% clean.
Innocent.
That's a better word. Yeah. Thanks, G. Yeah. So like, how do you rectify that? How do you get around something like that?
Also, what the hell's going to happen with Val Cooper? Because like he was legit working with a basically terrorist organization while working for the UN as well. So if she doesn't at least lose her job, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
She's always. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I think in the comics, didn't she set up like this human sentinel unit?
You mean what?
I can't remember. It's been a long time since she's been in the.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she said.
Sentinel.
Yeah, Sentinel-1. So.
Yeah, the human-controlled Sentinels. I remember that.
Yeah. Although after seeing
she helped establish what Office of National Emergency 1.
Yeah, so that sounds like.
Oh, she's in a relationship with U.S. agent? Really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like the last thing I'm reading up on Wikipedia. Cooper is revealed to have been involved in an intimate relationship with a U.S. agent while working the Office of 1. That
has some very difficult connotations. But again, we saw Iron Man and Captain America showed up in the final episode. So
yeah,
well, it was 90s. The 90s Iron Man too.
He got his shield back then, at least.
Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah, well, I'm on. Let me bring up. They weren't the only ones. We saw these two.
No, if he was Australian and Rogue threw it away, it would eventually come back to him.
Mac users asking about X Factor. X Factor has been like several different teams.
Yeah, well, X Factor exists.
It was the original 5 X-Men who split off their own team called X Factor as a superhero group that no one really knew was mutants. Mm-hmm. Well, and then it just became. Then it was Havoc's team in the cartoon. Actually, actually the current X Factor, I think.
Yeah, you're right. It was in. Yeah, I think it was. I think it wasn't. I think it was the episode Cold Comfort. But yeah, in the original '90s show, X Factor was.
Iceman showed up again. Yeah.
It was Havoc, Polaris. I think. Strong Guy was there.
Wolfbane.
Wolfbane was part of it.
Cyclops and when they fought in the original episode.
They didn't seem to know that they were brothers.
Did Cyclops and Havoc actually know they were brothers?
No, they didn't. They never found out. So
that's why they were looking so freaked out when their powers negated each other.
Exactly.
They didn't know why.
Do they actually know that now or
no?
They don't. They don't.
Oh my god. Unless they did that off screen, because there seems to be some months that we haven't seen. So who knows?
Yeah.
How can they not know? I mean, they know
because they got split up when they were little kids.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah. It's not like in X-Men Evolution where they figured
is dead.
Well, if you remember when the parents gave them the last parachute, they were actually together, and then we don't know what happened there.
Cyclops got brain injured and was probably in a coma or something. Then when he woke up, he said, "Oh yeah, your little brother. Yeah, sorry, he didn't make it."
Yeah. So there was a.
But then again, Sinister's probably played a hand in that.
Yeah.
You're probably There's that might be an issue too. Yeah, because again, Sinister is still alive apparently, even though he kind of got. Well, even though he lost all of his,
he'll be back.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be back. There's no question.
He'll find some new mutants to start siphoning more DNA off of. Yeah, which is kind of a mistake on their part to let him go. So,
yeah, he's going to be a problem at some point. But one thing I'm curious about, I don't know how far ahead they're going to go, but I think it was in the early 2010s, Sinister actually created multiple versions of himself. He became his own species. Like there's this.
I vaguely remember that comic.
Yeah, it was before Avengers versus X-Men, where he essentially hijacked the head of a Celestial and turned it into he became sort of his own species. He had all these different versions, and he had a bunch of versions of Madeline Pryor. I don't know if they could do something like that, but if that would be an interesting way for Sinister to return.
Sinister comes into play.
She kind of came in separately, but if he want, they're going to bring in. I think in Sinister's origin in the original show, they did show he did have a wife, but they didn't really. She didn't really.
Yeah, they never explained what happened. But then again, in the comics,
she basically left. No, she died, didn't she? Like in her last words were like basically how sinister he was.
Yeah, she.
God. Mother Righteous, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Mother Righteous is not. Yeah. Mother Righteous. She's more recent, but I don't know if they go that far ahead. I think it would make more sense for them to kind of go to touch on some of the stuff that happened in the early 2010s first. But yeah, maybe they'll get to Mother Righteous. Who knows? Depends on how many seasons this goes. Mother Righteous is a character. That's the most I can say about her because. She was interesting.
Also, wasn't X Factor originally the more investigation part of the team, like crimes, missing?
Well, in the comics, after the
that was more like when Multiple Man took over, wasn't it?
Yep, Multiple Man took over, and he kind of he spearheaded X Factor for years.
Yeah, it was like X Factor Investigations or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that was like way later.
Yeah, because he sent all these dupes off around the world to gather knowledge, intel, skills, that sort of thing, and then
exactly
every one of them.
Yeah, I remember a little bit of that. Like some of them did not want to go back because they had actually built lives for themselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Monk Jamie.
Or the priest one, I think. Yeah.
No.
I think the one actually had a kid or two or something like that.
I believe so. Yeah.
Then there was that whole fucked up thing with
mini baby Jamies.
There was that whole
mini multiple men.
Yeah, he wasn't on that
thing
board.
Of when he got Siren pregnant or Berta pregnant, and it was basically just another of his clones, which is kind of stupid, really.
Oh god, that was.
He's just reabsorbed him. What the fuck, writers? That is super messed up. And how does that even work? Does that mean he can't have any kids at all because they would just be basically clones of him?
Just don't think about it, Morty. Just don't think about it.
I think him and what's her name? Laura, was it Miller? Have children?
Layla Miller, not Laura. Layla Miller.
Yeah, Layla. My bad.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think they did. I don't know what the status of that is because. Multiple Man. I think he was in that X Corp comic that was short-lived for a while, but.
Can you just imagine it though?
Yeah.
Oh look, we've got little baby Jamie. Oh wait.
Oh, they popped right out.
We had one, and then wait, now there's 12, and
try to imagine being a babysitter for them.
Can you imagine Layla being the old lady lived in the shoe with 100 kids?
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, kind of similar to what when Jamie first got into the comics, his young self, he did have to make a suit for him to control his powers because the slightest bump would cause him to make clones.
Fun stuff, yeah. It's weird because they when in the X-Men Evolution, Jamie was there, but he was really young, and anytime someone bumped into him, he would get a half a dozen would just pop up.
I think he actually was the same age as X-23 in that.
Interesting, yeah.
What, 10 years old?
Yeah.
No, he was more I think 13-ish. But he was still the youngest. I think the second youngest was Rain at 14. Then everything else, the others were 15, 16-ish. Yeah.
10 years old? 12? No, 12 years old. 12 years old. 12 years old if I remember now.
Interesting, yeah.
Because they went to that concert, didn't they?
Yeah, and they said, he wasn't old enough, and he tried to, he was trying to impress Kitty Pryde. I think Kitty was Pryde, she was 15 in that show, canonically. Does kind of make me wonder how old Kitty Pryde is here. I mean, she's got the costume, she's got Shadowcat. Does that mean she's been,
She looks early 20s.
I wonder if, Angelina will make an appearance.
Angelica, you mean? Firestar.
Okay, yeah. Firestar.
That's possible. Well, again, we did.
Maybe.
It was established
But then again,
because
that is bad, Emma Frost.
yeah. So, but yeah, we have. We know this version of Spider-Man. He found Mary Jane, so if that's the case, maybe they'll bring in. Maybe we'll get like there'll be an episode in season 2 called like Amazing Friends, where Spider-Man will team up with Iceman and
Firestar.
Yeah, that would. How cool would that be? That would be amazing fan service.
Well, revamp of it again.
Yeah. So, yeah, but
Although I was like surprised to see like I knew at the end of the Spider-Man cartoon they went off to save Mary Jane because they didn't know they were getting canceled.
yeah, they were gonna.
I do wonder like if they
They
did
left
make
a
a
cliffhanger.
Yeah, it was a
if they did
terrible.
make like actually do remake the Spider-Man cartoon. Will they have to like go back to like that moment and kind of like start from there and like lead up into this moment, or will they just kind of
I don't know.
maybe a flashback or something? And
I think
then,
a flashback makes the
explain-
most sense.
Because they are still like they are obviously together now, but I forget if she actually learned Peter Parker and Spider-Man were the same person. Whether that was the clone that only learned that.
No, I'm pretty sure the clone is the only one who found out.
But don't forget, I think it was in Ultimate Spider-Man. They did show them together in the first episode.
What?
You know,
Which, I mean, Unlimited?
I think it was
No, it was Unlimited.
yeah, Unlimited, not
Unlimited, not
no.
Ultimate. Unlimited. Yeah,
That was like a.
I think that was an alternate universe. This wasn't the same universe.
Was it supposed to be a spin-off or? It's hard to tell because like when they changed up all the animations,
Yeah.
they changed up a lot of stuff.
Right.
And then-
we should explain. It was hard to determine such things back then because, unlike today, there was no internet back then.
Yeah, pretty
Well,
much.
there was, but they just.
There was.
It was
but
terrible,
very
yeah,
limited to people.
Yeah, I don't
And,
trust me.
yeah.
I haven't forgotten how horrible dial-up internet was. Oh, I can still hear.
Don't forget.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wait.
that sound will haunt me till my dying days.
What, 20 minutes just to download what?
A
2-minute video or long?
Not even that. A 1-minute video would take an hour, depending how bad your connection was. So, yeah, not good times. But yeah, I'm glad that they have very least, because I think even the showrunner confirmed. Yeah, this is he did confirm Peter did find Mary Jane. So I don't know. Maybe if they actually wanted to get him involved for one episode, because they got Captain America involved for however briefly. Maybe we could get something like an Amazing Friends where Iceman, Firestar, Spider, they all team up because if the X-Men are going to be absent for a good chunk of season 2. Then
Unfortunately, given the low episode count, I think they won't do it just because they can't afford to have a filler episode.
Yeah, you might be right, but
Which,
maybe
face it, that would be it.
well, maybe they'll get some extra episodes. I mean, maybe
Or a special or something, I don't know.
because this is just my thinking. I think that the reason they paid for only 10 episodes because they didn't know if revamping a show from the 90s was going to get this kind of response. But now that they've seen it, I think.
Well, I have seen Japan has redone some of their shows from the 70s, 80s, and actually quite a few of them are actually quite good.
Yeah.
You've got Space Battleship Yamato.
21.99. Yeah, I love.
Yeah.
I saw both. I've seen both, and I will say the 21.99 is superior.
Yeah.
It has better cast. It has a bigger cast. It has a better cast writing. Animation's better. They redid the music, which is really cool.
I did prefer season 2 of the old series though. That was a bit better in some cases. What was it? Oh god. Either Legend of the Galactic Heroes or what's its actual name?
Well, if they can, if they can remake that, then yeah, they should. They should be able to update. Mac User is right. Yeah, Iceman would have definitely made the
Legend
Hydra
of the
Man.
Galactic. Its English name is Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Yeah.
The original subversion is over 110 episodes.
Wow.
Plus a few extra filler ones, which I am currently watching. It is actually really good.
Actually, Iceman would be good against.
I already know what's going to happen because I was like, "What happens here?" I was like, "Oh god, I'm like, he dies." And the modern series isn't even there yet. I'm like, no. But
I
I'm like,
mean, what he said there, the Mac user guy, like Iceman would probably be good against both Hydro Man and Sandman. I would say.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. He would definitely help each other out, and because whatever
well,
happens
what's
in the past, there's going to be there's going to be the need at least until they get back. I suspect like the first half of season 2, we might flash to some stuff in the present where we'll see people trying to fill the void of what happens when while the X-Men are gone, and maybe Iceman is on this board, and maybe he Shadowcat, and maybe even they bring Magic in because she's there too, and
I wonder if they'll make a new like new X-Men kind of a thing, or maybe X Factor or something. They'll
you
as
mean
a
a
team
different
to
title?
like a new
title.
mutant team to help find the X-Men or something, or like help take their
Well,
place.
they might. It could be. What about X-Force?
oh okay.
Well, I do wonder why the fuck is Archangel missing, presumed dead?
Well, he was on Genosha. That's why.
He was.
Yeah, he was on Genosha. Remember, he was in that that during I think he was at the gala. I'm pretty
See, I
sure
don't
he was on
remember.
Genosha when everything went to hell. So yeah,
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I only remember Morph turning into him. That's it.
he did turn into
Yeah.
him, but he was. I do distinctly remember he was on Genosha.
Oh.
Shortly before the Sentinels attacked. So
Then again, there's so many background characters and stuff in that show, especially in Genosha, where you're trying to find them all. It's easy enough to miss, I think.
yeah, but yeah, don't quote me on that. I have been wrong about stuff like that
Wait.
before, but
Why does Shadowcat mean they can do the X-Men Fantastic Four crossover?
oh yeah, because didn't she? Yeah, 'cause
Well,
she-
yeah, I know that. Like that's one. Colossus has been like Shadowcat's been mainly romantically involved in either Colossus or Peter, whatever the fuck his name was from Excalibur.
Pete Wisdom. That's who you're thinking of.
That's it. Yeah.
It's sad. I know that. The thing is, she's dated 3 guys named Peter. That shows you.
Wait, she has.
Yeah, she
Oh,
dated
she
Peter
dated
Quill.
Peter Quill for a little bit, and
Yeah,
who the hell was the third one? Oh, Pietro. Okay, I
Yeah.
forgot. That's Russian for Peter.
yeah. So yeah, she loves.
All right, now she just needs to date Peter Parker, and she got 4 for 4.
Well, she did that in the Ultimate Universe, but
Well, yeah, no, I meant like an actual
Yeah.
in her universe, like main universe.
Yeah.
In the
I'd rather they
last
not.
Couple of scenes, we had Bishop, talking to Forge, and Forge was like, "Who are you?" and all that lot. There must be. Do you reckon in the future Forge sent him Bishop back to help his younger self?
oh, that's could be possible because it was in the original series. Forge was the one who sent Bishop back in the first place. So yeah, maybe he's the one who pulled Forge out of the time stream. He says, "Okay, yeah, look, I know what you're about to do. I know what's going to happen, and it ain't good." So that also makes me wonder. Maybe here's what I think we could see Morph, Storm, and Wolverine. I think maybe in the distant future. We saw Cyclops and Jean show up. They met Mother Ascani. I think with if the 3 of them got transported into the future, maybe like the big enemies they'll face in that timeline is they'll see a version of the Horsemen. They'll see Gambit, Wolverine, Storm, and Morph as Horsemen, and that'll be kind of who they have to fight during their time in the future. And
Also, I just gotta say, the image, I just noticed this, but the image you have here of Forge, is it just me or is his body, like, his arms going back like that? Like,
Yes.
kind of,
It-
like, it's not very natural, is it?
yeah, he looks like he's doing some sort of like stretch that I would do with the gym before I
it's like
do
he's trying to
a
stretch out his,
deadlift.
like, pecs or something.
It was just his leg that he lost, wasn't it? Not
Yeah,
his
he just
arm.
lost his leg. Yeah,
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 because
So,
I'm thinking about the Evolution series.
yeah,
Because he had that army.
Oh, no, yeah, his arms
Yeah,
like
yeah.
transformed into a mech thing, yeah.
yeah. And he spoke like a disco in disco stock. That's far out.
Well, he was from the 70s, so yeah.
Yeah, he was stuck
Wait,
in.
didn't they have something similar like that in Wolverine and the X-Men?
Yeah, Forge was in there too, but he was kind of goofy. He was kind of like a goof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tech
but
goof.
not nearly as serious as the one we've got in this show. So,
I like the
he had his moments in Wolverine and the X-Men, but I do like this version of
Right.
Forge better.
There is one thing that I do find annoying. If
Go
you
for it.
look at this, when he's looking at the images next to Archangel, we all know that's Magic,
Yeah.
Colossus's sister.
Yeah.
But in the original series, you only saw her once in
Yeah.
one episode, when Colossus came to the X-Men for help when Omega Red was taken all over the thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
So they've skipped the whole part when she's kidnapped, sent to Limbo, and all that.
Mm-hmm. They have, yes. So I
And
don't know,
now
maybe that's
she's
something. Yeah.
there.
Yeah. It'll be interesting how they cover that. Maybe that's something that unfolded off scene. Yeah, because there was a lengthy time skip, like a year-long time skip.
Months.
yeah, at least 9 months because of Maddie's pregnancy. But yeah, so there was definitely some time for stuff like that to happen off screen. Maybe we'll learn more about what happened off screen in season 2. But
they never did explain how Jean disappeared.
Yeah,
because they were basically like, just okay, we don't
she
care.
could have ripped it from Sinister there and then when she was the Phoenix moment, but no,
nope,
she didn't.
Yeah, so yeah, he did tease her like that. I think it was in like the episode 9, that's next to last episode. He said, "I know when," and he tried to essentially tempt her.
Bargain.
Yeah, but she wasn't having it. So I think there's a reason why that they didn't reveal that. So I think maybe that'll be something we find out in season 2, because one of the things that I did check on before I started the stream is apparently season 2 is in post-production officially. So the voice actors are recording their lines, and now it's kind of in a post-production phase. So that's a good sign that where we won't have to wait like 2 years for another season like we did with What If. So
I think you said earlier they wanted to see, not for people to wait that long for season 2, and hopefully it comes out October, maybe November.
I think the rumor is it's going to be early 2025. That's what I think. I don't know for sure, but
that will be I know the way things work. Maybe February half term.
It might be because at least here in the United States, I don't think they want to compete with NFL football.
But then again, we can all guarantee this: it's not going to be on May 4th.
No, it's not. You're right.
That date's already taken.
Exactly. Yeah, good point there. So, I am.
I still haven't watched that series yet.
Okay, but I'm also hoping that at least they did mention also at some point they're thinking of doing like a animated movie. Like Marvel didn't used to have they used to do these like short animated. They had like Ultimate Avengers. They had Hulk versus Wolverine.
Yeah, I remember that.
But they kind of stopped doing that when I think when the Disney merger happened. So
I know in Wolverine and the X-Men there was an episode when Hulk and Wolverine was taking out the.
Yes, exactly.
Wendigo.
Yeah,
and that one of the movies there ties in with that episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, and that was kind of like a way to. They were kind of responding because they knew there was a manipulation by Nick Fury.
You.
Yeah,
but then again, we never saw Hulk.
He was mentioned, but he wasn't. We didn't see him.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe they sent him off to space already.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so, because it seems like he's still. I feel like he's still around.
Yeah, because I get this. Yeah, I get the fact that he was mentioned and they had that prison built for him. That leads me to believe, he hasn't been shot into space yet.
Turned into him at one point.
Yeah. Yes, he had morph smash.
Was it just me or was anyone else when Rogue did the thunderclap and oh shit, she did the thunderclap right in his Bastion's face.
Oh, that was fun. Ooh. I loved that. That was a really fun moment to see. Yeah, Rogue definitely had a lot of really good moments in the last couple of episodes, and when her punching Bastion was just so satisfying. So it'll be also one other thing I'm thinking what they're going to try to do is with Apocalypse. when they see him in his younger form, I think they're going to be tempted. They're going to try to stop him from becoming, Apocalypse. Like they tried that in the comics. I don't know. Do you guys remember Uncanny X-Force? Do you remember that series? Like they created a kid Apocalypse.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Kid, wasn't he literally called Kid Apocalypse or something like that?
No, they called him Genesis after a while, but it was just Kid Apocalypse for a while. Yeah, but I do wonder. Yeah, if they're going to try to make it so Apocalypse never breaks bad or something, and in the end,
I feel like what they're going to do is like when they're in Egypt, they're going to try and maybe alter the timeline, but they're actually just going to end up like confirming it the timeline. It's one of those like predestined paradoxes.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think that does sound kind of like what they're going to end up doing, even though they're going to make the effort, but they might end up just making.
Although I'm kind of surprised, like, do they not know like Nur is Apocalypse's real name? Like, even the face alone should have been like a clue. Like, this is like they should like have a more like oh shit kind of moment when they realize who he is.
Well, I think they don't. I don't think they recognize his name.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I don't think they didn't recognize his name, but I think they definitely recognize his face. They know that lip, that mark on his face. They know that's Apocalypse, even no matter what his name is.
It's like at one point I feel like they should have had oh god, should we have even saved this guy?
Yeah, well, he was going to survive.
Look, they just kind of had like more of a confused look instead of like, oh shit, not this guy. Look.
Isn't it, or did they say his name a bit strangely to you?
In Sabanur?
It's Egyptian, so it's kind of hard to tell like what the actual like pronunciation is.
Yeah,
like this is like Egypt, not current Egypt.
Yeah, in Sabanur, I think it's supposed to be like the first one.
Is it N or Sabanur?
I don't know how to
like on Sabanur, but hard to tell. It's hard to tell because like actual ancient Egyptian, no one speaks it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to tell what it's supposed to sound like.
Yeah, because X-Men Evolution did a
dead language. No one speaks it anymore, so
it makes me wonder how much.
But you can't speak it because all the people who speak it are dead.
Yeah. So we'll have to see because I bet they're going to try to make him. They're going to try to keep him from becoming evil, but they're not. They're just going to. It kind of depends on how they handle with the Rama Tut situation because if they're going to use. If they're going to adapt that story like from the comics, then it'll depend on how they're going to infect them. Because I think if the comics remember, also Rama Tut has a connection with the Fantastic Four. So, and we know the Fantastic Four exist in this universe. Morph turned into Reed Richards at one
connection point. Then?
Like I think the Fantastic
sort of time travel.
Yeah, because they time traveled back to Egypt and where they it was a very early Fantastic Four comic when they encountered Rama Tut, and I don't know if they even made him a version of Kang before then, but there is a Fantastic Four connection here.
I'll tell you one character we did not see: Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel.
Carol, we did not. She wasn't even mentioned. Yeah.
She's still in a coma because, like, last in the original show, you see her in a coma still.
Yeah. But you see her smile though.
Yeah, so it does make me wonder if she's going to maybe because Rogue is in the past now. Maybe that'll prompt Carol to wake up.
I think maybe they're going to save that until like later on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's going to be one of those things where like she woke up and. Pretty actually pissed for legitimate reasons.
Yeah, can't say I blame her.
Yeah, especially like in the comics. Apparently, you learn that not only did when she woke up from the coma, it fucked up her brain because basically she has memories, but she has no emotional connections to any of her memories, which means she knows her parents and family, but she doesn't feel anything for them.
Yeah,
remind me.
Yeah, did she have to go to Xavier?
One thing that's kind of fucked with her.
Yeah, she needed to go to Charles Xavier for that. Yeah.
When they were battling in Rogue's mine, I remember it. Her skin turned green. I was like, "What?" Like, she's sort of an alien, but I know she's Kree.
She's part Kree, yeah.
But the way the skin turned green, I'm like, that's a sort of scroll now that I think about it. I'm like, what's going on there?
Hard to say. Well, we'll have to, have to wait and see. But I sincerely do hope that at some point they address what happened with Carol Danvers. I don't know if they'll make her Captain Marvel in this show because she was still Miss Marvel in the '90s, and she stayed that way for a good long while.
I mean, I don't know if Captain Marvel is even still alive at this point, but you could be.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's
something. In Mighty Avengers, they had her working for, what was it, Sword, wasn't it?
Yes, Sword. Interesting. Yeah, they also had Jennifer Hale voicing. She voiced Carol Danvers in that show. So how is it? Yeah, is she going to voice a third character because she voiced both Madeline Pryor and Jean Grey?
Okay, yeah. So I looked it up. Yeah, the original Captain Marvel died in 1982. So yeah.
So yeah, can you just imagine voicing two characters at the same time that are talking to one another?
Well, it's easier when one of them's a clone.
But how difficult would it be of sorts?
It would be rough, yeah.
Well, you just basically have to record one side of the conversation, and I guess you record the other side.
I'm not.
It's been done before. Like Brent Spinner did it. Like,
it's a very good argument.
Because Brent Spinner, I remember he in one episode he had to play 3 different characters. Him, like Data, his brother Lore, and his creator Dr. Sin. And they were all in one room together. So yeah.
I would have loved to been in the recording studio for that.
No, it wasn't recording studio. That was live. Remember?
Oh wow.
You had to do all the shots for like as Data. Then they had to replace the cameras. He had to redress his Lore, do it. Then he had to go into makeup again to play an older version of himself. And
that's got to
reshoot the scene a third time.
Did he get a bonus check for that?
He better. Because that's a lot of work to put for one actor to do, and he carried most of that episode on himself.
Yeesh. Good times. So, any other theories about what they're going to do with Apocalypse or... Well, we haven't really talked much about what's going to happen with the Adventures. It looks like in the distant future they're going to adapt, the Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix, which is where they raise Cable together. So. Oh. Yeah. So what could come of that? Because it's a little different than what the comics did.
I feel like at the end of that they're going to be maybe spend a couple of episodes, and then by the end of the second episode they get sent back, but they're gonna he's going to have to erase his mind of their presence there. Because when he showed up, he seemed like he never really met them before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, maybe Rachel would do that.
Legacy virus.
That was already taken. They already did that. Remember in Time Fugitives, there was a couple episodes in the original series.
Was that the actual virus though? Because
I think so. Yeah.
Was it Apocalypse that started that, or was it Sinister that started it?
I think it was Apocalypse who started that. He was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Look it up. Look up the episode's Time Fugitives.
I looked it up. In the X-Men animated series, a variation of the legacy viruses was used in a brief storyline where it was creation of Apocalypse, who had created the virus with the aid of Great and Creed and with the friends of humanity, affecting innocent people, claiming that mutants were the ones who caused the plague.
Yeah,
so they have done it, but it was not exactly the same as the comics.
Yeah, exactly. One of my friends, Warlon's on. So yeah, let me see if we can bring him in a bit. But
why'd their thing disappear?
What thing?
Wait,
I saw their comment and just gone.
Oh yeah, Warlon. Oh yeah, I saw it too. Yeah, it's gone. What was that?
From 1993 to 2001. The Legacy virus.
Yeah, that was a long ass storyline they had.
Yeah, that was a pretty. Yeah, it was a long storyline.
Well, that does explain. Was it Astonishing X-Men then when they brought Colossus back?
Yeah,
just like that.
Someone with with Break World. Yeah, I remember that.
I didn't know you could delete your own comment.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, Warlon. Warlon, I don't know if you're listening. I'll try to get you in a bit, but just hang tight. But I do know they did do with the legacy virus. They had to be. It's weird because when they did that in the 90s, they had to be really careful because apparently it was really taboo to do anything that might be considered like an allegory for HIV, and that's kind of what it wasn't originally supposed to be. I think even.
Can you imagine if they did the legacy virus to
Today I can totally imagine, but back then
2 years
it was
ago.
really taboo.
With COVID going around, I'm like,
I think they could get away with it
Yeah.
today, but yeah, it was really, they had to be very, very subtle about it back in the 90s because
actually
anything involving HIV back then was so taboo.
oh, where is it? I actually have a list of when my database loads up.
Mm-hmm.
Because they stopped posting comics, I remember, during the lockdown. And I've got a thing here telling me when it loads. Come on, Excel.
Okay, yeah, Warlock, I did get your DM. Okay, yeah, I got it. Sorry about that. And yeah, I might have. I don't know if I'd have to figure out a way to add someone. All right, so hold on, guys. I'm gonna see if I can try to add another person. So if you get dropped, I apologize in
Here it is.
advance.
About 2 months in 2022, there were no comics. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that too.
From 25th of March.
Okay.
2020.
Warlion, you should. Yeah, guys, I'm about to bring in Warloincomics. So let's see if he shows up.
Because
Yeah, he's in. Well,
I see you. I see you.
Yeah, quite a good.
Let's see,
check your mic settings.
They left. Oh,
Warlion, I don't think. Yeah, I'm giving him a call now. So yeah, Warlion's in. I think Warlion's in is in another time zone. So he might his connection might be. Oh,
I guess
he's a
didn't
past or
work.
present or future.
I don't know if he is.
Oh, there
There
he
he
is.
is.
Because in New Zealand, it is actually technically tomorrow.
Hey, Warlion, you hear me?
Hello.
Hey. Hi everyone.
Hello.
Warlion, this is these are my friends Thunder and Agent G. Agent G and I have been friends for almost like 20 years. So yeah, thank you. It's
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah, we've
Well,
known
I've
each other
them
since.
for 20 years.
Yeah.
I've known them 20 years.
Yeah, thank you.
Just read
Yeah.
all their stuff.
But yeah, guys, Warlion, yeah,
okay.
he's I've chatted with him. We talk a lot on social media. Usually, whenever there's a big event going on in the X-Men comics, we like to chat. And he's been on my live stream before. So Warlion, would you like to get us going? What was your thoughts on the finale?
I loved it. Like, I don't think that I had a lot of problems with it, so that's good. Especially with like the quality of the MCU lately.
Yeah,
That's really good.
Yeah.
I wonder if they left any scenes out.
that'd be interesting to know.
And I'm like, this isn't a move. Well, they might have removed some things, but
Probably for time. Yeah, everything. There's always something on the cutting room floor.
I'm just figuring this isn't a movie where they always remove scenes. I'm like, no, this is a cartoon, not a movie.
Do that in shows sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, they
They
might
have to cut things
removed
down for
stuff
time.
They might, yeah. Well,
Well-
this was actually longer than the other episodes we've got.
Yeah, wasn't it like 40 minutes? The final episode was like what, 40 minutes?
Something like that.
Didn't
Yeah,
feel like
it
it didn't
was.
feel like 40 minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes. So
Oh.
basically, that's just 2 episodes right there.
Yeah, well,
Ish,
I know
yeah.
from a mutual friend of mine and Jack's that there were some scenes cut from the final episodes.
oh yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
said that some scenes were cut from the last 3 episodes, especially the last one.
yeah, isn't that going to
There
be?
we go, then.
Isn't that going to be because they are they going to try to bring that into season 2 somehow?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, we were kind of talking about
Hey, maybe
Like,
they cut the one that we've all been asking about. What happened to Wolverine, Morph, and Storm? Maybe that was one that got cut.
maybe yeah. Well,
Maybe.
it was confirmed that
Someone asked. Someone
go.
asked Bo DeMaio about that, and he hinted that they might be at the future with Gene and Scott.
Yeah, and if that's the case, I think they might already be horsemen. Like I think Wolverine will be. I said Wolverine will be war. Morph will be pestilence. Storm will be famine, and of course Gambit will be death.
That
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that might be who they face up against. Maybe they'll also. Here's another thing. If let's say if if in the past they've managed to they try to prevent Apocalypse from becoming Apocalypse, maybe the villain that they're facing in the future is different. Maybe it's a version of Strafe, the clone of Cable.
What did they call Kid Apocalypse?
Genesis.
Kid Apocalypse.
Yeah, Genesis.
Evan or Genesis?
Yeah. His name is Evan Sabanor, but they named him Genesis.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember what happened to him because it was in that.
He was killed in Age of X-Men, I think. Yeah, he was killed in Age of X-Men, and they didn't resurrect him.
Yeah.
Because he's a clone.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, it was like Age of X-Men. That was shortly before Krakoa.
Right, that's bullshit. I mean, they had Jean, and then they brought Maddie, and then they brought Laura, and they brought X-23, Agent Green.
Gabby, don't forget Gabby. Yeah, that's another. You think that could they possibly bring in? Could they bring in like the Wolverine family? I know that's more of a mid-2000s thing, but.
Oh yeah, I was like,
On the show, I don't know, because like that's a lot to bring in.
Yeah.
Wait, she's not. What was her nickname, Gabby?
So,
Yes.
They adapted Second Coming, and they added a bit of Krakoa in the Genosha episode. So maybe,
yeah. It'd be interesting to see if they ever even try to adapt something like House of X or Krakoa, because Krakoa has not been mentioned at all. It wasn't, to my knowledge, it wasn't in the original series, and yeah, I don't think so. So, maybe that's something for like a future season.
The main team are all away, and then they run into Wolverine's so-called clone.
Okay.
X-23, while he's away, and then he comes back and go, "Who's this? Oh, by the way, this is the clone of yours."
Well, it would make sense because we know clones
would take
are
a lot of explaining.
Yeah, but in a good way, because Sinister proved he can clone people. He cloned Jean Grey, so it wouldn't be much to say that maybe he perfected that by cloning Wolverine. It's not like Wolverine is.
He didn't clone X-23. It was the facility in the comics.
In the comics, but maybe in the show that they tweaked that up.
It was Hydra, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, in X-Men Evolution, it was Hydra. Yeah, so.
Probably one
her usage, I think, will depend on Deadpool and Wolverine, because some characters from the main MCU were off limits, as Bodemayo said.
Yeah, like so Deadpool was off limits.
Deadpool, I think if she's in Deadpool, then she was off limit, and maybe still is.
Now, it might be true because there has been some rumors that Daphne Keane, who played X-23 in Logan, is going to show up in Deadpool and Wolverine, and if that's the case, and
there's a lot of rumors about that movie, so it's kind of hard to tell what they're actually going to do.
Yeah, well, we'll find out in about 2 months.
Yeah,
2 months.
So honestly, I just stick away from the rumors because, I didn't want to be pleasantly surprised by what they throw in there.
Yeah. Fair enough. We won't talk too much about that.
You can see, you can see that with why they didn't use Cassandra Nova in the show. They adapted New X-Men without her.
Yeah. That would make sense if she was off limits because of the Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah.
The movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. But I think Cassandra Nova. I think she's going to be one of those characters who steals the show in Deadpool and Wolverine, because she was just such a colorfully demented character in the comics that I think she's going to surprise a lot of people, because I don't think most people who don't read the comics have ever heard about her. I mean, they've heard about Apocalypse, they've heard about Magneto. Cassandra Nova is kind of somewhat more. I feel
like she's only going to be in the movie for maybe one of the acts, and that's it. I don't feel like she's going to be long term in the movie.
The best way to explain it is it's the evil twin of Xavier.
That's putting it very simply, but there's a lot more to go. That's going on.
You can do her origins.
But then again,
you can do it. I mean, the MCU is complicated now.
Yeah, comics make it even more complicated with the whole sentient bacteria thing or something.
Yeah, John Sublime.
Can you imagine it? There's some fan.
Yeah, they don't need that part.
Yeah, they don't need John Sublime. No John Sublime.
Yeah, that's gonna make it way too much complicated. You have to go so deep into the lore to explain all that shit.
And that would not have.
There's some.
Go ahead.
There's some fan trying to link all these different universes together. They've got like a wall of all this stuff on their wall.
Oh, like
There's
that
string going,
like
tying it all in together.
Yeah, it's like that. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme with Charlie. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if they're going to try how much of the multiverse they're going to be, but we did see, the Watcher did show up in episode 5, so it is safe to say that this series is part of the multiverse. There's no.
I mean, everything is. I had that argument with someone on Twitter saying that X-Men, the show, isn't MCU, and I told him like, depends on how you define the MCU. If you define it as a universe, like a Marvel multiverse thing, or do you define it as a production? Because if we count those, then the show is a part of the MCU.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But
again, it depends. Like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, there's MCU where it's like, I guess you have the main timeline, and then you got like alternate, like
the multiverse
like
itself.
yeah, all the multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
Like they had with like Multiverse of Madness, where
Yeah.
like they showed up
Yes.
like what 3 different
The
universes or
Fox
something.
movies,
Yeah.
the Fox movies and the Sony movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although-
they're their own.
Yeah, the less said about the
timeline,
Sony movies, the
basically.
better. Yeah, the less said about the Sony movies, the
I
better.
mean, Spider-Verse exists, and the
Yeah,
Spider-Man
yeah.
movies.
Spider-Verse movies good.
Yeah.
Everything else kind of dog shit. To be honest.
Yeah. Who else here
Although
is?
the first Venom movie was better than I thought it was going to be. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. Who else here is not excited about Craven? Who is there any hype behind that movie at all? I really
one will.
yeah.
I'm just wondering if this is going to be even worse than the
the
Madam Web
Hunter.
movie.
How could
Oh,
how could something
Lord.
be worse than that? Explain to me.
Oh, like I assume someone could try.
What was it? Dark
It can
Phoenix
be,
or-
you know.
You would have to
Yeah.
really try to be worse than Madam Web. You would really have to try.
I think.
I mean, you're
the-
trying to make a villain into a hero. Like they kind of did with Venom because he has been a hero at some point. But this is Craven the Hunter.
Yeah.
How the fuck are you going to
I
make him
think
the good guy?
Venom, especially like unlike Venom, who is a hero and who had like he has a long history of being an anti-hero in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craven the Hunter is a like he matters only in one story, you know, Craven's Last Hunt.
Yeah.
If you
Pretty
avoid
much.
that story, he's pretty much a nothing character. you
He's
know,
a villain
so
of the
it's
week kind of
easy-
thing.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So it's easy to mess him up.
Quick question: if they ever do bring back the Spider-Man animation, do you think they'll bring the other symbiotes into the series?
You mean like Scream
Venom already
or
Yeah.
and Roll is Carnage. So
well, they only brought in Venom and Carnage. They didn't bring in like Scream. They didn't bring
Yeah.
in like Null or Anti-Venom.
I don't think they'll do that because of something the rights issues. Not that
Oh yeah.
not that the characters are
Wait, wait.
owned by them.
the only
characters-
they only own the movie rights. They don't own the animation rights. So as
Yeah.
long as it's not a movie,
The animation
they can do
under
whatever
20
they want.
minutes.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about. Disney owns the animation under 20 minutes, so I don't think that they can
Really?
pull off a 10-episode show with 20 minutes duration time and introduce symbiotes and all of that, you know?
Oh, actually,
Wait a
minute.
you could. There's a loophole. All they have to do is like do 2-parter episodes, like they what like Justice League did, where they had part 1, part 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
But
maybe.
then it would be like 20 episodes or something. It would be too long, you know?
I'm fine with
Especially
that.
for a weekly,
I would be okay with it
especially
being-
for a weekly release.
But this last episode was 40 minutes, not 20 minutes.
Then you just like turn the season of 20 minutes or 20 episodes into 2 half seasons of 10 and call it
What?
season 1, season 2.
Oh,
Again,
You know,
I like to
just like
iterate
what-
for legal reasons. None of us are lawyers.
no.
None of us know.
This will also
None of us went to law school.
None of us
this
did.
will,
But then again,
Yeah.
if you look at the episodes we got, hang on, got the names of them here.
Okay, but while you're looking that up, I just want to say, like, given Sony's track record with their movies, they're just burning money away. So at one
Yeah.
point, they might have to go like, okay, fuck it. Here's the rights. Give us a bunch of money because we kind of dug
Yeah.
ourselves into a pit here. We
Yeah.
need more money.
Maybe.
as long as they continue doing Spider-Man, they will not lose money, you know?
Well, they did lose money from Madam Web.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
that
mean,
is technically
the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man movies, the Tom Holland movies. As long as they keep doing those and they keep doing Spider-Verse, they won't lose it, you know?
Ah, yeah, they did get a cut of Tom Holland, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tom Holland's
What
he.
was the-
He can't keep doing it forever. He's almost 30.
He doesn't look it though.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, with CGI,
Still looks
and
like
all
he's like
that,
22 or
can do
something.
it.
Yeah, he's got a baby face.
Yeah.
Did they
I've-
ever explain what the reason was for doing Life and Death Part 1 and then going straight to Episode 5, Remember It, then Life and Death Part 2?
I
What
don't
was the
know.
reason
It
behind
was.
that?
I think they were just.
No idea.
I think they were. Well, Life Death from the original comics was that covered quite a while. Like that was like a. How many issues with that? Was like 10 issues?
Oh, God.
I can't remember, but they had to compress a lot of things, and I think they were always going to need something like an E is for Extinction type event to sort of be the like the anchor for this for the whole season. I mean, it is kind of sort of like what they did in the original show. They always had like a couple of episodes were really like the driving force, like when whether it was the Phoenix Saga, I think it was in season 3, or Time Fugitives is before that, or I think they had a Days of Futures Past in season 2. So, I would love to know, how they decided to go about Life Death, but I do think the part of that was, just to give Storm a personal arc to go on.
I think it's because, the difference between the comics and the show is that the comics had a lot of subplots and a lot of other things going on, while here he is just focusing on Storm.
Mm-hmm.
And when you focus on Storm, that plot doesn't have a lot going on. So you had to add something with it. So you added the Shi'ar and the Shi'ar stuff in the second episode, and the first episode you had Mkandu.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think
Okay.
that's the only reason I can think of, really.
Maybe, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because I think they're doing a post like this, the behind the scenes thing coming out next week. Maybe that'll help explain it. But it makes me wonder. I don't know if has it been revealed if season 2 is also going to be 10 episodes, or are they going to maybe?
No. One of Marvel's officials just said today that they don't know the episode's number yet.
Okay,
They are in post-production right now, so they will know them.
Yeah, I
when
did
they
hear.
are done.
I did hear that they are in post production, but I can't seem to figure out if there's
Yeah.
what the episode count is going to be. But they did mention. I
We
don't know.
don't
If,
know yet.
yeah, but there was still some rumors, like even before this season was ended, that there's a possibility they could do like an animated movie, like a full blown animated movie. Which, if they're going to do that, it has to be something like Avengers versus X-Men. Like that's the only story I think could make for a animated movie.
But you have to set it up correctly.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You only had the Avengers this season as a cameo, so
Yeah. Yeah.
a cameo is not enough to build it.
I agree. And maybe after season 3, like I think season 2 is probably going to focus on like Age of Apocalypse and maybe set the stage for Onslaught. Maybe, and then season 3 could give us like something like House of M, and that could lead to sort of like a Messiah complex type story where everyone fights over the mutant Messiah, whether it's Hope Summers or like the Phoenix Force or something like that, and that could set the stage for a big time Avengers versus X-Men animated movie. And I've said this before: if they do that, if they had like a limited theatrical release for that, I guarantee that would definitely that would generate some interest. I would line up at midnight to see that.
I think there are two problems here. Well, technically one problem, and it's the MCU proper.
Yeah.
And because we don't know what they use in Deadpool and Wolverine when it comes to these plots, because Cassandra Nova's involved, so that there are dead X-Men. So why are they dead? Is it Days of Future Past type of situation, or is it maybe House of M or another Genosha?
Yeah, it could be kind of like an Old Man Logan.
And what are they setting up for the MCU itself, the mainline MCU? Because if they are setting up AVX in the movies, they will definitely not.
Okay, that's a good point.
Show,
That's a good point.
Please.
Yeah, I know, and the thing, I don't like how Avengers versus X-Men ended in the comics, but I do like how it was kind of set up. I think if
How it ended.
I think if they found a way to make it if they found a way to set it up right and they had a better ending in mind, it could definitely work better. But I don't know.
The adaptation has an advantage that the comic didn't have, and that's the fact that in the past, when they did the comics, Marvel didn't care about the X-Men.
Yeah, they didn't.
While now they care about both the Avengers and the X-Men. So
that's a good point. Yeah,
like in their mind as a business, they will not destroy either of the IP.
Yeah, that is an important point of context because it was like right around the time Avengers versus X-Men the comic came out. That was when that was when the that's when the first Avengers movie came out, and that's when the when Disney bought Marvel and. They started kind of steadily deprioritizing the X-Men, which, trust me, when that happened, you definitely saw it. I mean, after Avengers versus X-Men, it was not subtle anymore.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I want to know I'm fascinated by the story of how that happened, because if you go back to Iron Man 1, you remember there is an original deleted scene with Nick Fury when he first met Tony. And it was set like the Iron Man movie was in the Fox movie. And at the time, they were thinking that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is in that same universe.
Yeah, exactly. I remember. Yeah.
So what happened, I'm fascinated by what happened from then to by the time that AVX came out and the Avengers movie came out.
Yeah.
What changed in those 3 years that destroyed everything?
We may never know, but I have a feeling... you guys know who Isaac Perlmutter is, right?
Yeah.
Not wrong.
He's the former CEO of Marvel. Yeah, he was the reason why he was a really reclusive guy who once he got upset with Fox over the Fantastic Four and X-Men rights, and there's a rumor, I don't know if this is true, he literally ripped off posters with the Fantastic Four in Marvel's offices at one point.
Yeah, I've heard those. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of I think a lot of those decisions came from Isaac Perlmutter. Now he's not with Marvel anymore. I think he even got booted out of Disney. But
yeah, he got a couple of years ago now.
Yeah, so yeah,
or
whatever.
Joe Quesada,
Yeah, so same with Joe Quesada. Yeah, so Axel Alonso got axed too. I've always wanted to say that. Sorry, but but yeah, that. Whatever happened, I think the decisions from Iron Man before, I think, it was Isaac Perlmutter who made those decisions.
Yeah. And if you think there was also the issue of, the Marvel television versus the MCU, the movies at the time.
Yeah. Agents of
They
S.H.I.E.L.D.
did not care for the Netflix stuff, which sucks because that was their best television.
Oh, yeah. Daredevil at the Netflix was awesome. I loved that.
That side was run by Perlmutter.
Yeah.
For a long time, which is why when the MCU canceled the Inhumans movie, he made it into a show. But he rushed.
Oh, that was oh God, that was so awful.
He did a lot of weird stuff that destroyed it.
It's basically the television stuff. They made it so it was no longer canon with the main movies.
Yeah,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was always trying to line up with the movies, but they never lined up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, I did not like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That was more of a Joss Whedon problem.
Yeah.
Because Joss Whedon was the producer of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and until Age of Ultron, he was responsible for the MCU as a whole. But then, he was let go and all of that Joss Whedon stuff. So Marvel just distanced themselves from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was way before, the rest of the shows developed, Daredevil and all of that.
Yeah, Joss Whedon has kind of lost a lot of credibility, with each passing year. And
he was like the nerds guy, basically. He made Buffy, he made Firefly, and then he made the Avengers, and then after that, things just took a giant fucking nosedive.
Yeah, and his personal life went to hell too. So let's not forget that was probably an impact, and I suspect there's more to that story that we're never going to know because he's never going to share it.
When all that stuff was coming out, there's all these stories coming apparently he was really abusive on the set of Buffy a lot, and they're oh shit, really?
Yeah.
That will never come up, especially as now no one cares about Joss Whedon. The reason why these stories come out from time to time is that, this person is super famous and this person is whatever. But like, Joss Whedon is technically a nobody now.
Yeah, what
No
is
one
he?
cares about
Yeah,
him.
what has he done lately? What was the last meaningful thing
He's,
he's?
I, he's
Justice
doing
League?
some like indie stuff and stuff like that. He's still working, but like no blockbusters anymore.
Probably for the best. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
from the sound of it.
probably,
Let's
yeah.
see, I'm actually looking him up here. What is the last thing he's done? The
Yeah, what?
Nevers TV
I
series?
think
Never heard of it. Oh, that was
I,
in 2021. So yeah, that was the last thing he did.
that's been a
So he
while.
hasn't done anything of note in like 2 years.
Makes me
yeah,
wonder.
but but think about it. That's like 5 years after he got canceled, essentially, or he rightfully so got canceled.
Yeah, he.
Yeah.
So he still worked after that. So I think there's another reason why he didn't do anything since then, since 2021. I mean.
Yeah.
There was an Agents of Shield spinoff. I don't remember that.
Yeah, they canceled that. It was
Yeah.
6 episodes.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, they canceled that.
Oh, TV miniseries. Yeah, like they had 6 episodes. I guess they never got picked up.
Yeah,
It was a Mockingbird and that Hawkeye clone they had.
Yo-yo.
Yeah.
Check that.
Not
Yeah.
Yo-Yo, no, the other Irish guy who married Bobby in that show, and he was a Hawkeye clone.
Oh yeah, I think I
Children.
know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name for the life.
Oh,
of me.
fuck, I don't remember either.
Yeah. It was.
Did I even watch that season? I don't know.
I stopped watching Agents of Shield after
I stopped
season
watching
2.
when they like back after the Ghost Rider stuff, and when
Yeah.
the AI started going up, I kind of tuned out. I tuned in a little bit after at the end of that,
Yeah.
but then it's like they ended up in the far future where like the Kree were taken over and Earth's like just shattered. I saw like maybe 2 episodes of that, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
I watched it till the end, from the beginning to the end.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to. Dude, I had too much stuff to do.
The
and,
last
like,
season,
it has to go.
the last season was weird,
That's
I can't remember it fully, but it was like, saying goodbye to the show essentially, and it was good, but not that good.
Yeah, I think it's because there's so many things were going on behind the scenes in terms of who was going to guide the MCU that it kind of just got caught in the chaos, and it was never going to be. It just didn't have a vision to keep it going. So
yeah,
it's kind of tragic.
I think Loki was filming, so like Kevin Feige was 100% responsible for the TV show side at that time.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, but it does kind of makes me wonder. Now they kind of have Marvel television, Marvel animation, and Marvel Studios. Maybe animation will finally get some research because we do know, X-Men '97 has worked, but here's the thing: they still have this Spider-Man freshman year show coming out. Is anybody at all interested in that? And
No.
I'm
not.
I literally forgot that show existed.
Teenage kid Peter Parker. Give me adult Peter Parker.
Yeah, we've had ever since Spectacular Spider-Man, which is a great show. Every single Spider-Man character has just been him in high school, and I'm sorry, I'm sick of that. I've seen enough of that. Can we get something else?
It's a trope created by the movies,
Yeah, I know, but still, the first '90s cartoon that cameo that was trending for a while. I don't know if you were on social, on socials, like Spider-Man was trending. Spider-Man '98 was even trending for a brief while, and
yep.
I guarantee you, a Spider-Man '98 revival series would get more ratings than Spider-Man freshman year.
I wouldn't be surprised they're talking about it just because of how people reacted.
Yeah.
You know what I want to see is the Spider-Man Noir Amazon show.
Yeah, I heard about that.
They do it
with the Cage.
Yeah, with Cage. Yeah.
I mean, technically, that's also Peter Parker. So let's see how they do that.
That would be an interesting.
It will not be a kids show, and it's set in a different time. So
be interesting, yeah. But again, I'm
on two minds. I kind of hope that they actually film it in black and white.
That would be cool. Yeah, that would fit the original Spider-Man Noir comic.
It's like what they did with the was it Wolf by Moonlight or no?
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, I liked that. That was cool.
Made that when it originally came out, because they made a colorized version, they came out in black and white, and I'm like,
I
also
didn't
kinda
see
cool.
the colorized version. I only saw the black and white one.
That was the best version. Yeah, that's actually become one of my favorite like Halloween themed shows to watch during Halloween because I thought that was such just a fun just seeing Man Thing.
It's a
Yeah, it's
And Man
good.
Thing looked
it's a
good in
great
that.
special.
That's the thing.
Marvel does good specials. I think
I do.
that
Yeah.
and the Guardians one.
Oh, that Guardians Christmas special, I loved that. My nephew loves
Yeah.
that so much. uh, yeah, I think I actually heard Kevin Bacon ad libbed almost everything in that special. Like they let him ad lib almost everything.
Oh wow.
So
He's Batman. That
he's
was
Batman.
fun.
Yeah, I'm surprised they let him keep do that. They were, but yeah, hey, let him cook.
I think it was easy to pull with the since the guy who was directing that is the guy who is in charge of DC right now.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, that'll be
Oh,
interesting.
James Gunn.
Yeah, I would love to do it. Maybe I'll do it. I can do a future live stream about that because we did see that first teaser for Superman, and then we also know Supergirl's coming out the year after Superman Legacy.
That's the thing. Like, is anyone like that first image of they posted out? That was not the best image to put for your Superman thing because, like, the costume looks to me, it looks exactly like they got the guy who made Captain America's costume in his movie, like his first movie.
Captain
to make
America, the
this
first
one.
Avenger.
It
Yeah,
looks like it looks almost the exact same material, say almost stylish in a way. And I'm like, yeah, he's like someone made a better version of it where like it's all nice and bright and like he's all cleaned up and everything. It looks like he's just taking his time to put his stuff on before he goes out to save the world.
yeah.
As opposed to the death beam that's just like coming out of nowhere,
I think it was
destroying Metropolis. He's like slowly
You know-
putting on his boot.
Solaris. I think
For
is
me,
that.
I'm waiting to see the final version,
Yeah,
especially as the way the way David is dressing up. It feels like he was photographed in the office or something, and
Yeah.
they edited his surroundings. So I want to see the suit after the CG is put in and all of that.
yeah. I think that could. I'll be very interested to see how the trailer eventually takes shape. I think that would be. Yeah, yeah.
I'm interested in the movie and Fantastic Four as well because that will be something.
Yeah, and they got the cast and they got Galactus. They found an actor for Galactus this time. Maybe he won't be a cloud. I'm sorry if I get angry at that, but
No,
why would you
yeah,
make
you know,
Galactus a cloud?
Speaking of that for a second,
They also turning.
Hey guys, I'm a talking cloud.
Yeah, but then there's also the fact that they've turning whatever the fuck, like the Silver Surfer is like not Norrin Rad. I'm like,
Yeah, that's good. That could be a problem.
and there's also the whole thing with the like, it's not the like Fantastic Four to MCU. It's like basically an alternate universe kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's
And I
because
think-
they're going to travel to the MCU.
Yeah, and that's like, I don't know, like that feels kind of like it feels like they're trying to get out of making the origin story.
Well, they've
They will
already done the
definitely
origin
not
story.
do the origins. They will definitely not do it. I think we are in an era that the origin stories and all of that we are past that time. And I
Yeah.
think James Gunn said that about the DCU. He said that most of the stories that were made before him, they will not rehash them. So I think that's
I'm okay with. I'm
that's
totally okay with that.
ideology. Yeah. So let's pick up from the middle and see how it goes. I think the problem with the MCU, which is why they are making the Fantastic Four an alternate universe, is that because of the rights, there are no easy ways to put the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in the mainline MCU yet.
I feel that's not debatable because like you can easily put like the Fantastic Four getting like
You don't. I think the problem is that you don't want an eternal solution. You
Yeah.
can easily fit Daredevil in the MCU. You can easily fit Jessica Jones, even Agents of Shield to an extent. But I don't know the mutants and the Fantastic Four,
mutants would be
especially.
harder, but
It sounds
basically
like
like I had an idea of basically I think it was last stream or something like on this where basically I was like, okay, my pitch for a Fantastic Four movie, you can put it in the MCU. Basically, bam, they go up to space, space radiation. They come back, they're changed, and instead of doing Doctor Doom like you've done like every single time, put in like the Mole Man, so like you could actually like they could carry us back to their actual first adventure,
Yeah.
and like have giant kaiju
Classic.
fights in fucking New York City.
Oh, that would be That's Fantastic Four.
But it does
Yeah,
sound
I
like
think the way.
they don't want to
Yeah,
do
go
like
on.
crossovers per series. They don't want too many. It's like the comics. One certain series you've got this in one comic. Oh, next thing it's in a different comic. Then it's in another one, and then it's another one. Then the next month it's back in the original one. It sounds like they don't want to do that.
Oh yeah, here it is. This is the image I was actually talking about. I'll put it in the Discord there.
Oh yeah, I see. I'm looking at it right now.
The image, and on the left is the Photoshop what someone did.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can.
I like that.
It's cleaned it.
I
What's
can
going on in the background?
I think that's
So
Solaris.
some big Death Beam thing.
Yeah, did you read All Star Superman? All Star. I think that's Solaris. That's from All Star Superman, and that was actually a comic that James Gunn. I think it was on Instagram. He showed that was what he was reading as a reference point for this movie.
He mentioned it when he announced the original slate of DC. He said that he is adapting All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison.
I don't read Superman.
Well, All Star Superman. If you're going to read one single Superman series, read that one. That is one of the best Superman comics of the past 20 years.
I mean, if you don't include, the Rebirth stuff, then maybe.
Yeah, the less said about the Rebirth
stuff is hard to top,
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. We'll see. But one other thing, we were talking about how the Fantastic Four get into the MCU. I think Deadpool and Wolverine is going to set up, how do the mutants get into the MCU? Because I don't think you could have an eternal situation where they've always been there and nobody's they've been hiding. You need something like a big event. Maybe it had to be some kind of like incursion, like what we had in Multiverse of Madness that would bring them in. And maybe that's going to be. That might be part of Secret Wars, but I think Deadpool and Wolverine is going to set that up because they said in the trailer, their universes are dying and something's got to give. So maybe
I have a theory that I had way back when they announced Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Share it, please. Share it.
So let's see if it. Yeah, the idea is that instead of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness now, Deadpool and Wolverine, they will mess up a lot of timelines, and in the process, they will kind of fix the errors, the continuity errors of the old movies, the Fox movies, and all of that, and maybe alter the MCU somehow so that the mutants have always existed, or like something made them come out of the shadow.
That'd be it. How that would still kind of that would still kind of create a situation where it'd be like an eternal situation, like where would they have been? Because that would mean like all the events from to the MCU to date would have to would be impacted. So unless maybe
all this crazy shit has been going on in the MCU, and they haven't done like one thing
about the Eternals.
Like you think like when like half the population of the world got snapped away, like you think they would have like shown up at that point, maybe.
Maybe, yeah, but
because like half the mutants would have gone too.
Yeah.
I mean, the funny thing is they didn't do anything when they were in the comics when everyone was snapped because
Yeah, but the original.
I remember
the original Infinity.
The Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, I remember that.
I actually had that collection, and like, it's like, well, actually, no, they weren't involved. It's mainly just the Avengers.
Yeah, it was mostly Avengers. So.
Yeah, they weren't. I think Jim Starlin complained about that, and he said that he begged the editors to have the X-Men because it's it's a Marvel-wide story, and the mandate was that the X-Men are separate from everything else. So after a lot of begging, he just got Wolverine and Cyclops to be on the sidelines. They appear in the back of a panel or two.
No, Wolverine was actually.
He was meant.
Wolverine was part of the whole Infinity thing, because he and Hulk like had a whole like talk about like the reason they were picked was because like they knew like they were the ones that if they had to kill Thanos, they were the two that would do it, that wouldn't hesitate. And then he like Logan actually tried to like stab fucking Thanos, but he got killed by fuck did he get killed
Wait,
by?
is that also the event where what was it that did Doctor Doom like he actually tanked an entire hit by the Infinity Gauntlet?
No, Doctor Doom was not part of that.
Oh, okay, yeah,
He
because
probably got snapped out of existence.
I remember there was this one particular where he fought this battle between Thanos where he actually took almost an entire full powered blast by the Infinity Gauntlet and survived somehow.
That wasn't.
You know,
trust me, I have it like literally probably 3 feet away from me right now. I could literally probably look through it and see that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because that was the Infinity War was more like a '90s thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it might have been a different one, but as long as we're sharing theories, there was actually one theory I had, Warlock. I think I might have pitched this to you at another stream. So here was my theory that of how they could bring the mutants into the MCU without kind of having an Eternal situation. I don't know if I pitched this before Deadpool and Wolverine came out, but my idea was that the mutants have always been there, but like there was this M-Day style event that took place before the events of Iron Man, probably either by the Scarlet Witch or maybe like a version of Onslaught where all of reality was kind of warped and all the mutants, they didn't disappear, but they were put into these they were all transported into this chamber in Krakoa or someplace like it. And everyone who had mutant children suddenly forgot about them, and they were all kind of in hiding.
Yeah.
And then at some point later on in the MCU, maybe someone like Wolverine shows up and he helps reactivate all the memories of mutants that had been. Like I think it was my idea was that after the snap, whatever was keeping the memory and the knowledge of mutant secret disappeared, and they've been all kind of building up behind the scenes. So I don't think that theory is viable anymore, though.
There are a couple of problems with that.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
I can see a version of that, which is the Matthew Rosenberg version in the comics.
Oh yeah, I think
when Emma Frost made it. When Emma Frost made it that everyone forgot that mutants existed.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I think that's a kind of easy way to get out of that mess.
Yeah, I think you're right. That could be one way they could handle it. It would still be it would still have some. There would definitely be some gaps to fill in, but that would be a way.
The gaps are easier,
Yeah, it would.
An eternal solution,
I guess I heard rumors that they're trying, like the Deadpool movie is going to basically soft reset the Marvel universe. So like the last two phases might not have happened, and basically reset things to the point of like, okay, mutants are now a thing now because history got rewritten.
Yeah. These rumors are out there about Deadpool and Wolverine and about Secret Wars, but I don't think they will do that,
Yeah.
They will never undo Avengers Infinity War and Endgame.
No, they will not.
No. That's not 3 and 4. 4 and 5. That's what I meant.
I could just see Deadpool opening up a book that records time with a pencil and an eraser, just rubbing it all out.
That is definitely something Deadpool could do.
Yeah.
You know why?
But then you'd have unicorns and everything else flying around in his.
Well, he has had that in the comics. Deadpool's comics are basically the kind of things you could only appreciate while on drugs.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs, kids.
I think
No.
Yeah.
If you're watching, do not do drugs.
Yes, please don't.
Yeah. I think the mutants theory can work easily, especially that we have it from a different perspective with Spider-Man right now. Like, everyone doesn't remember Spider-Man.
They don't remember Peter Parker.
He was still... Yeah, but he was still in everyone's lives and all of that. So maybe the way to use the mutants is that to introduce that plot that Charles Xavier or any psychic mind wiped the humanity, essentially.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Charles Xavier could do that.
The X-Men were there,
Yeah.
Yeah, but the X-Men were there. The X-Men fought maybe Thanos. They fought Ultron, but no one remembers, That would be definitely require a lot of mind tricks. But yeah,
I think you could get that to work if another or maybe it could go even further. It's not just that everyone's memories of mutants was erased. The mutants themselves, maybe they forgot they were mutants. Like there's a block on them that prevents them from remembering that, oh, I'm a mutant, I have powers.
This sounds a lot like that.
Yeah.
Basically, there was a DC. Remember that DC Comics thing with that whole Amazon's attack bullshit, like they did, where like Amazonia just like declared war on the world for stupid reasons.
Yes,
basically after that, they had all the Amazons basically like just scattered across the world, just mind wiped, and then eventually like they all became like at one point all their memories came back and they just went back to the island.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but I think that is messing with memory is tricky, and I think if someone like Onslaught, I know we keep talking about Onslaught. We talked about him earlier in the stream. Onslaught doesn't just have he's not just a powerful psychic. He can basically warp reality. He can essentially change the fabric of an entire universe. And we saw
but that's because he had absorbed Franklin Richards, if you remember.
Oh yeah, there's that
Franklin
too.
Richards' powers.
Didn't Franklin Richards beat him though?
Yeah. Well, he also led to the creation of the very, very short-lived Heroes Reborn universe, which I only could get through 2 issues of that crap before I gave up on it.
Yeah, I mean, plus it was like also drawn by Liefeld. So. That infamous really horrible Captain America pose he had.
Oh yeah, he's never going to live that down.
Unfortunately, I think I actually had that comic somewhere in my basement.
It might actually be worth something now.
Aftermath.
Go ahead, man.
Oh, you mean the aftermath of that event was cool. Kurt Busiek and Perez on Avengers. That's dope.
But it didn't last, but I do think it does kind of set it more than anything else. It shows what Onslaught's. He required basically both the Avengers and the X-Men to team up to defeat. And the fact that the Avengers kept showing up in the first season leads me to believe maybe we'll kind of see an arc where the Avengers start off as allies to the X-Men when they, especially if they come back. Maybe they will help out in the battle against Apocalypse. But then in the next season, they start off as allies, but then whatever happens, especially if House of M is adapted, then that might be what causes them to be like a rift. So that could especially if the mutant population gets culled and if the Scarlet Witch is responsible for it, that's going to cause some issues because in the comics for a good long while, there was the X-Men wanted to prosecute Wanda for what she did, and the Avengers would not let them.
She didn't have his breakdown, for God's sake.
Yeah, she did have a breakdown, and later on, of course, they absolved her by saying, "Oh, it was all Doctor Doom's fault." But that's
a mess of its own. I have a lot of thoughts about that. All of them negative.
Yeah, you're not. Trust me, you're in good company. But they tried really hard to take away Wanda's responsibility from that story, and
because what happened was that they needed a plot armor to execute an editorial mandate, and they didn't realize until later that they destroyed an IP.
Yeah, exactly. And
if you think about it, until today, Wanda Maximoff is a destroyed IP. Can she still sell a comic?
Oh, she still has her. Yeah, she has a solo series, but she ever since they
but it doesn't sell. I think I remember Steve Orlando tweeted about the first series not even selling. He said that it was not selling at all. And the funny thing is, during that time, the comic ranked the 5th out of the top 50 on the ICV2.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, if the 5th comic on that chart didn't sell, then what's happening here? I think that was my reaction.
I still think, Wanda has not recovered from her and I think it was Axis. That was the event where they retconned the Maximoff twins as being, they're not mutants anymore. They're just basically products of the High Evolutionary. And
that was the dumb thing.
Yeah, I hated that. I really wanted them to undo that, but the good thing about X-Men 97 is there was an issue of an old episode of the old series where it firmly established that Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch are Magneto's children, and I really hope.
And the finale,
Oh god,
And the
who
finale
was
showed
it?
that again.
Yeah, the finale
They
did.
also brought that.
Yeah, go ahead, Thunder.
Oh, what was the name of that guy? That the evolutionary.
High Evolutionary, the
Yeah,
High
that's it.
Evolutionary. Yes.
Yeah, they brought him into it.
Yeah, he was.
He
Yeah,
hasn't been seen.
yeah. So I really hope that they don't do what the comics did and they keep Wanda and Pietro as Magneto's children. Like it says here in this board that they're off world. So that maybe they're involved in something going on with the Kree. But
Yeah.
Well, they're part of the Avengers by this point, I think. So
yeah, well,
Quicksilver is probably, with Crystal and Luna, since, that's the 90s.
yeah, that did happen.
that could be a thing.
That happened in the 90s. Yeah. So,
Well,
but if you have Magneto's,
Wanda a pretender though.
yeah, who's what?
Wasn't Wanda a pretender? She wasn't really a mutant.
Yeah, that happened after I think it was the Axis event where essentially that was just as Marvel was kind of like deprioritizing mutants and
Although
yeah.
the fact that they made her no longer a mutant makes the whole no more mutants thing even kind of worse when you think
Yeah,
about it.
oh yeah, that's a good point. That does make it worse because
Actually, I think it's worse if she is a mutant.
she
Well,
wipes
if
out
she
her
is a
own.
mutant, then it kind of makes it a bit more personal. But now, if she's not a mutant, it's like someone just basically ripped apart like the mutant population that wasn't even a mutant.
Yeah, that does kind of
It almost
make
makes
it
it a
worse.
hate crime at this point.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think
It does make it a hate crime.
the issue, the way I see it, is that if she was a mutant, which she was when she did it, then she is sending everyone a statement that these people are monsters.
Yeah.
Well,
If
people
you
have been
think
thinking about that about mutants since they showed up. So
Yeah.
it's not real much of a change.
But when you have a person of their own blood telling you that, then it will be a different story.
Okay. Yeah, I can see.
Yeah,
I
but
can see.
you also got characters like Apocalypse that do the exact same thing, trying to kill other mutants. So it's not really that big of a leap.
Well, Apocalypse only cares. He likes caring about the weak. I don't think he cares about the mutant label.
He's a survival of the fittest thing, so he'll kill anyone that's weak.
Yeah. I don't think mutants. It doesn't matter to him.
Yeah, but Apocalypse isn't an A-list Avenger,
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Apocalypse, the one thing he always had all these weird grandiose lines in the original series. I wonder if they're going to maybe tone that down a bit now that he's going to show up in season 2. Like, is he going to be like, there is no freedom from me, there is only freedom through me? They're going to maybe, are they going to downplay that or something? Because
they will probably do it because, the kids watching that show back then aren't kids anymore.
yeah, but as a kid, I always thought those lines were cool. Like, if you could
as a kid,
yeah,
as a kid, I thought Scooby-Doo was cool.
Yeah, there was also, what was that? I am the rocks on the shore eternal, crash upon me and be broken. The fact that I remember those lines shows you how what the kind of presence Apocalypse had on that show. So yeah, I used to be
I
able
wonder
to.
if they'll adapt anything from his story on Krakoa, or will it influence
X of Swords
his story some way?
Oraco?
What? That all of that stuff.
They would have to wait for like season 5 for that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. And yeah, Apocalypse is like Krakoa, and the house. The Krakoa has really kind of changed Apocalypse's persona in a number of ways. I think it's been good and bad. It's in some respects, but if they want to make him the reason why I'm kind of glad that they're going to the past with him is I think if they're going to go back to his origin, then maybe that will give him a chance to be some depth. Because if in the old show he was just basically this pure evil Palpatine style cackling villain, and but in the comics, even in the comics, he was always had a bit more complexity than that. So the fact that they're giving him this, they're going back to his Insabanur era, means maybe they'll work in some of that Krakoa stuff, but I don't know how. Maybe they'll bring in, because in the Krakoa we did find out he had a wife, and maybe she'll show up in here.
And kids, if you include the original Horseman.
Yeah. His kids were the original Horsemen, so that could be another interesting bit they do. So yeah,
And his connection to Kang,
Oh
that's
yeah,
also something interesting.
Rama
I don't
Tut,
know if Kang
specifically
is on
Rama
the
Tut.
table or not. Yeah, I don't know if the character is on the table or not, considering the shenanigans with the mainline MCU and Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, that
So
would be.
maybe,
Yeah, well, then again, Kang did show up. Well, the Immortus version of Kang showed up in season 4 of the original series. So, but yeah, that's an interesting wrinkle. I mean, is Kang off limits because of what's going to happen in the MCU? Maybe. Do we
yeah.
know?
Or maybe he's no longer a priority in the mainline MCU, so he's on the table again. That's the interesting part, I think.
Yeah, that'll be. Yeah, that'll be because I don't know how would you tell if you're going to tell Apocalypse's origin. You kind of have to. Rama Tut is kind of important, especially if they're going to.
Yeah, he pretty much was like the cause of Apocalypse becoming Apocalypse. Plus, he left all that like advanced tech behind there for Apocalypse to pick up and like, oh, look at all this neat stuff.
Yeah, you're right. It's
amazing that he was able to figure out all that technology. I mean,
Yeah.
like just giving a caveman a computer.
I think it upgraded him to like with some cybernetics to help with that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Didn't he give him some celestial tech?
Yeah, celestial
Yeah.
technology as well. So I don't know if they're going to mention the
Got a lot of different stuff
Celestials.
in him.
Yeah, if they mention the Celestials, that might complicate things even more. I think maybe they'll keep it if they're going to use Kang, they're just going to use Kang's tech.
Yeah. I think the celestial part will be left to Apocalypse in the mainline MCU, especially as they introduce the Celestials, so
Yeah.
it will be easier to swallow.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense. But yeah, I think if for the show, they'll probably if Kang is on the table, they're going to keep the focus on Kang, and maybe Kang will also be how maybe that'll be another way the X-Men and Avengers, start to at least be allies for a while because if they ever do an Avengers versus X-Men, they're going to have to set that up on an arc. And again, it's not like they've because. After Rogue threw Cap's shield, I can't imagine that that left a good impression.
I mean, it's Cap, he
Yeah.
messes a lot of it.
Yeah, but the fact that he and Iron Man were present during the final episode, and they were there when when President Kelly enacted the Magneto protocols. The fact that they didn't really they didn't stop him. And that's probably not going to go over well if the X-Men find out about that.
It was a cameo, so we don't know the details,
Yeah.
and so do the X-Men. No one knows what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe Thor was on standby or something, but he couldn't join the fight. Something,
He might have been. I bet he was probably off-world too with the Maximoff twins. I bet. Maybe that's my theory.
The off-world thing, I think, there is a time gap between when the X-Men went back in time and between when Bishop met Forge.
Yeah, it was like a 6-month time.
felt.
Was it 6 months?
Yeah, I think there is something like
it was
that.
something.
So,
I'd have to rewatch it, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was like a 6-month time gap between when they get transported to the future and. Yeah. Also, Warren, I don't know if you saw the early part of the stream. I actually I hypothesized that or theorized that Emma is going to buy the Xavier Institute while the X-Men are gone, and she's going to try to put together a team.
Gen X.
Yeah, Gen X maybe.
Gen X.
Yeah, maybe they'll
Yeah,
call her
I
Gen X.
mean, yeah.
She has
You
the
know
money.
It would be great if she does that, because I think Gen X is an underrated thing that needs to be spotlighted.
I agree. Yeah, those were some good comics from the '90s. That was definitely the first time.
Especially because I feel it's being treated like an underdog because of Grant Morrison.
Yeah,
You talk about Emma Frost. When you mention her to someone, he will mention Grant Morrison and what Grant Morrison did with her, but no one mentions the Gen X stuff.
Yeah. I do feel like that Grant. In fact, it's weird because originally Grant Morrison didn't even want Emma. He wanted to use what, Colossus?
What?
Yeah, Colossus and Storm. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to use those two. They forced him to use them.
How did he end up then with Emma? Or when they left?
There's a long
They
story
didn't
behind
let
that.
him have Rogue. Yeah, long story short, they didn't let him have Rogue, Colossus, or what's his name, Storm to
Storm.
use. Two of those were used by Chris Claremont in
Yeah.
Extreme.
Yeah, in another
So what
series.
happened is,
Oh, I forgot
yeah.
that.
So what happened is Grant Morrison introduced Emma and retconned a lot about her to make her fit the plot that they wanted to put out there.
Yeah. It makes me
Like,
wonder.
she was a plot device.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the only reason she has that diamond form is because, yeah, I think that was because that was really supposed to be for Colossus.
That was the Colossus thing.
Yeah.
What, Colossus have a diamond form instead of a metallic form?
Yeah. Or just
I mean, they serve the same purpose to Grant Morrison, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, that was
They're bulletproof.
Yeah, but I agree. I think if the season 2, if Emma Frost can kind of channel her Gen X era persona, I think that would go a long way, especially because she always had a good like partnership with Kitty Pryde. You know, even going back to the early 2000s. I think if they captured, I think those two, if they kind of became like if she became the headmaster and if like Kitty Pryde became the leader of like this new Gen X team, I think that'd be a cool a cool match.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
release.
Yeah, I would.
Maybe that's a part of or a reason why not extreme, what's it called, exceptional X-Men exists.
Yeah, because that's coming out a couple months. Yeah, maybe that's that'll be what's set up. And also, I heard from someone, Warloin, you might have told me this, that Emma's marriage to Tony Stark might continue.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a rumor going on
really?
on Twitter, Instagram.
What, is he funding the school or whatever?
We don't know yet.
Why? What am I talking about? He wouldn't fund it.
No, we're not talking about
Well,
like in the comics. Because when Emma married Tony, like she was I think she was in a like a disguise, but
yes, she was.
but then again,
But
it's not like that kind of. She's rich and she's a psychic. She could fix that easily. So if they want to keep that marriage, they could. And honestly, I think they should.
I mean, I think they should, and they also sold you on the fact that they are now maybe a couple. Like,
Yeah, they did.
the first couple of issues after the marriage, it was like strictly a work thing. But then, like with issue 14, you start to see that, or 13, really, the end of 13, you start to see a relationship develop.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mhm.
like they got
But
married
you could
before they fell in
argue-
love. That's an interesting
Yeah.
approach.
He didn't really marry Emma. He married the
Hazel.
Hazel Pendle,
Yeah,
yeah.
Hazel.
But that's
Not
a
Emma.
technicality. Emma
It's
Frost.
even on it's on the certificate.
Emma Frost was able to make everybody forget that Kamala Khan died. She could easily fix this. Like she has money,
And
she has resources,
know-
and lawyers.
At the end, it's comics too. You know how many characters are really married, how many are divorced. To you, they are all married. You know,
Yeah.
I could tell you.
like if you think about it,
Yeah.
are Gina and Scott married? Like they are married in the comics because the comic says so. But
Yeah.
like, are they really?
Yeah, because they
You know,
died.
two
Doesn't-
died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doctor Strange had a divorce, then all of a sudden he's married again. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that makes me wonder. I mean, I know Iron Man showed up briefly. I know in the 90s, I don't know who he was with in the 90s, but if they wanted to kind of deepen, to create more of an Avengers connection, if Emma Frost has a partnership with Tony Stark in season 2, like maybe he helps with like rebuilding the Danger Room or something, that could be an interesting approach
Maybe.
angle. Like, because Emma Frost has been, because I think also Tony Stark, he's been involved in the Hellfire Club before. He's been involved in
the Matt Fraction run introduced that he and Emma have a long relationship.
that was like late late aughts, early 2010s. Yeah, when that happened. So they could go that route.
Fraction.
Yeah, they could go that route if they wanted. I don't know if that'd be one way of making Iron Man relevant in X-Men '97, and that could
I
also.
think it will be hard because of something like that happened in the MCU, and it's the Sharon Carter situation.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. You're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when they introduced her and then they were gonna make her and Steve a thing, and all of a sudden there was a weird fuss from the MCU fans.
Yeah, yeah.
So they backed off. So I don't know how they pulled that, you know. Unless somehow Pepper Potts was Emma Frost.
Oh well, Emma.
Maybe that will sell him on it.
Oh yeah, that would be a very cool twist. Yeah. Yeah, Emma Frost, she could do. Yeah, she's capable of doing a lot, and I don't know. It kind of depends on whether how good or how devious they're going to make her be. Because Emma Frost she's capable of being a villain and a hero, depending on what mood she's in. It's one of those. She's one
Pretty
of those
much,
characters. Yeah. It does make it does make wonder because
Just make her a bit more interesting, though.
I agree, and that's why I'm really glad that that X-Men '97 found a way to avoid that whole love triangle thing with them. I think replacing Emma with Madeline worked so much better, and it made Cyclops look like much less of an ass.
Well, his wife would have to die again
Yeah.
to be.
Did you see the tweet that Bodemayu talked about Jean and Emma? Jean and Madeline, sorry.
No, which
how
one
they
was?
sensed one another.
Oh yeah, what was it in episode 5? Yeah, they sensed one another.
Yeah, how they sensed. He said that the Phoenix is responsible for that.
Interesting.
And he said that some can theorize about what does that mean.
Well, we did see some. The episode 10. She did show some signs of the Phoenix. So.
And she talked about. And immediately, if you think about it, what did she say when she was in Cable's hands? She said the Phoenix pulled me back to save my son.
Oh yeah, and my son. Yeah, it sounds like something. Oh, that sounds like something Madeline would say. Yeah.
Is that Jean talking as Cable's mom?
Yeah.
I think they set that up earlier in the series when. They set that up earlier when they were saying Jean was she didn't know where Madeline began and she ended.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They had a bunch of the same memories. That's where they were heading for actually.
Yeah, I know that. I'm saying that he said you can theorize about it. What I'm going for is that the ending of Inferno. It's more like the ending of Inferno and less about X-Men the End. If you remember Inferno, the Phoenix, Jean, and Madeline were one person at the end.
Yeah, X-Men the End, the comic. Remember? Did you ever read that, G?
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. Yeah,
20 years ago.
It's less X-Men the End and more the ending of Inferno. If you remember the ending of Inferno, Madeline was dying.
Oh yeah.
So she was killing Jean with her, and then all of a sudden she and Jean were one person, and the Phoenix was merged with them again. And that status quo stuck for a while until Judgment Force.
Okay, yeah, that's when Madeline came back. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe the original ending happened. So.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see because I do think at some point Jean is going to become full Phoenix again. We saw in there was that glimpse of the future where I think they had Rachel as Mother. She was showing some Phoenix power as well. So something's going to happen with the Phoenix in season 2. We just don't know what.
Yeah. With Rachel, it's always interesting because Rachel is the Phoenix's daughter.
Yeah.
If you think about it from the Days of Future Past comic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
The Phoenix never died.
Yeah, so
on the moon. So
the Phoenix never died.
So Jean really was under Jamaica Bay the whole time while the Phoenix gave birth to Rachel. If you think about it.
Ooh, that is interesting to consider. So yeah, what do you think that would be for Mother Ascani, and at least as we saw in the end of the end of in episode 10, do you think because Rachel did show up? Yeah, she has the Phoenix, and she did show up in Beyond Good and Evil as well, and she had that look when she was the Hound. So could she have been the one who dragged? I'm pretty sure she's probably the one who got Baby Cable to the future, and why Bishop she got separated with Bishop. So
who knows? Maybe it was Apocalypse, for all we know.
No, that's possible too. But yeah,
an interesting thing about the heritage of Rachel in the comics, right now, I hate the current iteration of Rachel, but there is an interesting about it, and that's that she is displaying Phoenix powers without really having the Phoenix.
Yeah, that is a weird thing that I don't think they've really explained very well. Because we just found out.
I think it's easy to explain when you consider the fact that she is the Phoenix's daughter.
Okay. And also, what about what and what happened with Hope Summers? Gee, did you find out? Did you hear what they did with Hope Summers?
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Okay.
Let's not talk about.
Okay. I'll tell you about it offline. But
sorry, that's awful.
No, I can't. I've read the comics, so don't worry.
I might have to look that up later.
Trust me, it's going to. It has implications. Is probably the most subtle thing I can say about it. But,
everything they could have thought of, they went with that.
Well, they retconned. They retconned Nightcrawlers.
Well, yeah, but still.
Although I gotta say, like, it's getting close to like 5 o'clock for me, so I gotta get something to eat because I'm getting pretty hungry.
Okay.
I'm gonna call this.
Yeah, it's been over 2 hours. I'm sorry, man. I lost track of time.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining me, G.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna.
Can I just before you go though? We have been through this whole stream, and yet Marvel Master here has not gone on at all about the most hated comic he hates this week has come out yet.
X-Men.
I didn't even read that.
Ultimate X-Men.
I didn't even read the third issue. I just didn't care enough to read it, so that's why I haven't.
Be grateful you did not read it. I can tell you exactly what you can use it for. You know,
which issue again?
You're sitting on Ultimate X-Men.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't even read the third issue.
You could just sit there on the toilet reading it, and every time when you're done with a page, tear the page out and just use it.
Good to know. Very good to know. Thank you. Yeah, I have no desire to read
I'm
that.
enjoying that.
Bad it was.
It's not an X-Men book, but I'm enjoying it. You know.
Yeah, I stopped reading it after the second issue. Yeah, so I don't care.
I'm gonna go and I'll catch you guys later.
Okay, thanks, G. I'll talk to you later.
No problem.
All right. Yeah. By the way, if you everyone, please, I left a link on to Agent G's Twitch stream on in the description. So if you can, please check out his stream and support it. Okay. All right, Thunder, you're still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm here.
Warlon. And so any other theories about where it goes from here? Because actually, there's one other thing I wanted to mention about this, because over the course of during the final stretch, Bo DeMeo, he kept referencing a one man's worth. I think when building up to Bastion, and it makes me wonder: are they ever going to revisit the fact that in another timeline, Wolverine and Storm were married, and they've kind of just dropped that? I know Morph kind of, he has a thing for Wolverine. But the fact that Storm, Wolverine, and Morph got separated, you think they're going to revisit that?
Isn't Morph though gender neutral?
Yeah, Morph is gender neutral. So Morph could actually become whoever Wolverine wants them to be, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was Jean for a few seconds there.
Yeah, why not? I mean, that's the voice that Wolverine likes to hear. So, hey, it'll be but the thing is, I do like that at least in episode 5. Wolverine had the good sense to push Jean away, but the thing is, he's still not over her apparently. And I would like at some point in season 2 for him to finally just move on, because he's been pining over her for pretty much the entire series, and it's old. If that's the only, there's got to be more. He's got to be able to do more than just that. So that's.
I talked about that.
You also care about someone so much, you want to see them happy and still love them, even if they love somebody else.
Yeah, it's fine with that, but he keeps pining for her. He keeps pining, and
I think I talked about that when the episode came out. Because I think that the show did a great job with New X-Men, better than New X-Men itself.
I don't disagree with that.
But that part didn't land with me well, because that part was from New X-Men.
Yeah.
But I like the New X-Men version because you saw the mature Logan. I think one of the great the great characters that Morrison wrote is Logan.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I don't just yeah.
Yeah, he was like when she technically forced the kiss on him, and he was like no, and he was like he didn't do it like he did it in the show like a child, an angry child or whatever. But like he was a mature person,
I think
and that
yeah. Go
and
ahead.
that came later on when during the Phantom X arc, the Weapon Plus arc, and it was great.
Yeah, I remember that. But I do think the show, at the very least, made it clear that he's not going to he's not going to take advantage of any situation where things are rocky between her and Cyclops, and that's I think that's progress. But at the same time, the fact that he keeps pining for her is it's old. It makes him look like Edward Cullen more than anything else. And I would much rather him. I mean, I don't think Storm is technically with Forge right now, but I imagine like if they get stuck in the future together and something happens, that could create a different kind of drama, one that doesn't involve Wolverine pining for Jean. And I just think they need something different. That's my hope. But
I think. Let me think about this for a second. Go on, Tunch.
Okay, well, the other thing reason I'm kind of bringing that up is because if Wolverine is going to become a Horseman, I think it's like almost guaranteed he's going to become the new Horseman for War, because that's how he got his adamantium back in the comics. I think maybe if he's going to be whether he's in the future or the past as a Horseman, he's going to. I can see him maybe battling someone like Jean or Storm or even Morph, and someone's going to have to, get through to him. And if that's someone
who's battling Cyclops,
I can see, yeah, he would definitely go after Cyclops. He would definitely go after Cyclops. But I think if I could see a scenario where if he's battling someone like Storm, or if maybe even Storm is a Horseman, if she breaks free and she tries to break him free with her, then. Or who knows? Maybe if they become Horsemen together, they fight alongside one another, and that creates a bond. I would much rather them try to form that plot, because Storm and Wolverine, they've been together in the comics. They've been pretty serious in the comics before. They've been together, and they were together in this in the previous show. So the foundation and the sources are there, and I think that would be better than just him I'm just sick of him pining over Jean so much, and he's just
I have a solution for that, but also a hypothesis.
Yeah. Go ahead. What's your solution?
Before discussing the solution, I want to discuss an example of why this is happening, and another example.
Okay.
Similar to Logan's, and it's. Sometimes the creators want to, attract the wrong fans. So what happens is they destroy the IP.
Okay. Yeah.
An example of that is the Arrow show.
Yes.
The CW show.
Yes.
What happened? If you remember, Mark Guggenheim saw a couple of people shipping Felicity and Oliver and all of that. And what happened later is that he destroyed the IP for 8 seasons straight, some of the worst Arrow content ever, because he was, catering to those minority groups on Twitter, essentially.
Yeah, that's not very good.
This is exactly what's been happening with Jean over the decades, especially since the X-Men movies.
Yeah. Those X-Men movies did not do her any favors.
The idea that shippers exist for her and Logan based on the fact that they love Logan.
Yeah, and that's not good enough. Yeah. And
that's what's keeping this issue alive. And how to fix it is simple, really. And the show kind of did that, but you need more of it. And it's show people other things, why Jean matters, what makes her relationship with Scott special, and all of that. I think the show did that really well,
Yeah,
But
especially
you need to do that in live action. The movie will not be seen as many times by many people. Sorry, like the movie would be.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree. And yeah, the problem with I could talk for hours about all the ways the movie screw things. But the problem with the movies, they basically reduced Jean to a prize. That was pretty much all she ever was.
God.
Yes, and but
Yeah, and Scott was the obstacle. Like they
yeah,
were both reduced a lot.
yeah, and yeah, I hated that. And the show, even from the very first episode, it showed why Cyclops is why Gene would probably choose Cyclops. He even with
Yeah.
he does more than just grumble and grunt every time. He could be pretty badass by himself, and I think the fact that they were able to establish that in just the first episode did way more.
It's strange.
Yeah.
When Sinister originally captured them when they were on their honeymoon originally.
Yes.
And yeah, it just didn't seem right. It just felt like, yeah, he can't get that angry.
Yeah.
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 I think that's the solution. Show the people why what they want isn't really working,
Yeah.
and why the other things work better.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
If you do that in the MCU, and we know that synergy is the way everything goes now, comics and all of that. If you do that successfully, then congratulations, you got rid of that trope that existed for 25 years because of X-Men 1.
Beautiful.
The movie.
I'm totally in favor of that. And also, I do like that like they set up the adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix, the comics story at the end, because it gives them a chance to be a family, and that's something that like we've seen them have that in the comics. Like in the early Krakoa era, they basically lived on the moon as a family, and I think that was great for them. And the idea
Grant
that
Morrison also ruined that because what happened after what happened after Search for Cyclops?
he ruined
The era
that.
that what happened after that, but before Grant Morrison, the era that everyone pretends doesn't exist because Grant Morrison ignored that. That Scott was talking to his dad. There is an issue I can't remember. He was talking to his dad about his problems with Jean and how he wants to start a family with her in the present, but can't do that. Like, there is great material to be explored in that era.
Yeah, I do think that Morrison kind of he definitely derailed that, and I like this show is they're going to have a chance to raise their kid together, because that is clearly what they wanted. The very first episode they talked about having a family together. Now they're going to get a chance. Granted it's in an apocalyptic future, but still they get to be a family, and who knows if they find out who Rachel is, they'll say, "Oh, we're going to have a daughter later on." So that could be a interesting setup, because that family dynamic, that is exactly we saw that especially like in episode 8 where they were in the car. That was one of my favorites. That was one of my favorite scenes of the whole season.
Oh, what?
I think one of my problems with Jean in the comics is that they never explore everything about her. They just explore her love life.
Yeah, they have balanced it a little, but there's definitely room for improvement.
But if you do that, if you think about her other aspects, they are as important or even more important than her love life. And they involve her, being a mother to weird kids, from the future who are older than her, or as old as her.
Why do I get the feeling that Madeline Pryor is not actually dead?
I think part of her might still be in her Jean's mind. Maybe she's in the astral plane.
Yeah, I think.
I don't think she's actually dead, or her mind's in the astral. I think she's actually alive. Maybe.
Well, didn't Bo DeMaio confirm she's dead? At least physically.
No.
I mean, he didn't say she was dead, but he said what I said earlier about the Phoenix. I think maybe we'll explore that in season 2, because Bo wrote that season, so maybe he left... Yes. Some of that plot to be continued there.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. So I will. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. But in terms of, there was going to be a Phoenix plot. But it leads me to wonder, if is the Phoenix going to be the key to stopping Onslaught? Because if they're not going to use Franklin Richards or the Fantastic Four, the only other thing that would be powerful enough to take on Onslaught would be the Phoenix.
Yeah.
So
maybe Weapon X-Men was putting a spotlight on that.
Yeah, Weapon X-Men, that surprised me with how good it was. I did not have high expectations for that series, but
no.
What was this?
I actually think it's a downgrade considering. See, I'm a Christus Gage fan. I've read a lot of his work.
Yeah.
That's Weapon X-Men is like one of his low-tier comics.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's his best, but I'm just saying I had low expectations for that, and I'm genuinely surprised by how good it was.
Yeah, the thing that's interesting about it is that it took influences from '97 before the developments of X-Men '97 happened. Like before Episode 3 aired, for example, you saw Madeline and Scott married. I wonder what from that was like editorially mandated, especially because Bo DeMaio was talking to the editors. And, if you remember, I think he kind of co-created the X-Men '97 comic with Steve Fox.
Yeah. I think they are involved.
Yes, so maybe the Weapon X-Men was just, teasing something or making something for X-Men '97 to adapt in some sense.
Well, that'd be be interesting to see. But even though they did, I just think that if they're going to do Onslaught, they're going to also need to find something that's powerful enough to stop him. In the original comics, it was Franklin Richards, but I don't see them.
Maybe they
Do you think it could be X-Man himself?
Nate Gray?
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. That would be
That's a good guess because, like, if you remember, Nate Gray, he is another version of Cable, but he had the life seed for a while.
Yeah, the life seed. Yeah, the life seed's in the death seed. That's something they could have. I didn't even think about that. The life seed and the death seed. That would be a really.
Yeah, Angel had the death seed, then he had the life seed. That was the Remender creation, and then like Age of X-Men and X-Men Disassembled revealed that Nate Gray has had the life seed for a while.
Okay, I would love them to introduce those concepts because that Rec Remender run was a really good run. I really like what they did with that.
Yeah, we need season 2 trailer now.
I know it's going to be a lot of spec. I'm actually going to be doing a YouTube video where I'm going to try to share some of my theories about what's going to happen in season 2. But we've already talked about some of them here, but I think we know we're going to get some kind of Age of Apocalypse, but I also think they're going to keep teasing Onslaught, and yeah, I know, but in terms
Power of X-Men podcast, they shared the post about what they expect to be adapted, and all of the stuff they put out are like everything from the '90s related to Apocalypse. Like you have Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix.
Yeah, that's Apocalypse.
Sun. The 12.
Yeah, it's
highlighted the 12 too for some reason.
Yeah, the 12 would be complicated because we know what that did for Cyclops. So, but
maybe they'll change it.
Yeah, they've changed. They've already changed a number of things. They changed the Executioner song. They've changed Bastion. They did change Bastion's backstory almost completely. They took like the fact that they didn't use the Siege Perilous, which I don't know how they could have adapted that anyway. So they have shown in this show that they can make changes, from the source material and make them work. That's the most important part. And yeah, we'll see what comes of that, but time will tell.
So. Okay, it's a bit late here, so I gotta go. Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys. It's been almost 3 hours, so I've been keeping you for a while, but I think this is a good place to stop. Yeah, but thank you guys both very much. I really appreciate you joining me on this this stream. This has been a lot of fun. So, all right. Well,
I'll DM you the links of my Instagram if
Yes, please.
if you want to
Please.
share them down.
Absolutely. And Thunder, I'll catch you. I'll catch you on Twitch. So yeah, thanks all everybody. I'll stop the stream here. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining me in my world. Again, I got to check out my YouTube channel. I've got another video coming out in a couple days. So till next.